Hey everybody, we'll be getting started in just a second. This voice jump scare when literally you're in my stream waiting room. My god. I'm literally just brewing tea. I'll be back in a sec. Hello everybody. Good morning, good evening. I hope you're all doing alright. Yeah, it should teach me to watch two YouTube channels at once. Exactly. Why would you ever second screen me? What's up, Latina Mifune, Boku, Big Jerry, Hey Oxpecker, Chubshabi, and welcome to the chat, Superhero Ace. So, I have a show lined up for you guys. We're going to be talking about how to switch off of Discord. I will be launching the official Matrix server for not just my community by the end of this week, but also this space is getting its own Matrix server. So if you're a this space, viewer, then you will also have this space's server to use. Oh my god. So a month ago, I was dealing with 115-degree Fahrenheit heat. Now the heat's gone, and it's raining, and it's so humid that like the photos on my wall are falling down. Like the thumbtack keeping them in place is coming off. And so that's been a mission to try and keep those on. What's up, Simply Steve? So, before we jump into the Matrix stuff, I just want to show you a couple, like, random things. Things that I thought were funny, things that I think are important, just not broadly related to the main topics. This I found fucking hilarious. So recently, Australia banned Pornhub, and that's where this video comes from. But there's something in here that is very funny, especially to every Australian.
Can't buy a house, we can't buy fuel, and we can't have a wank? What's going on there?
You got a permit for that fire, mate? Yeah, so Australians can't buy a house, can't buy fuel. You can have a wank, just not on Pornhub. But you do actually need a permit to light a fire here. Considering everything is flammable, and that's constantly an issue, was the first thing that came to mind when he's like, I can't buy a house, I can't buy fuel, I can't have a wank. I'm like, you can't have that fire either, I'm pretty sure. Australia is a weird fucking place. So, another interesting thing happened. In fact, like, even the, sorry, I was getting distracted by chat. Even, the title of this, like, headline kind of just says it. So, Larry Silverstein recently bought a US bank tower in, LA, a skyscraper. This is the same guy that bought, the World Trade Center before 9/11, and then made billions of dollars because the World Trade Center was filled with asbestos and would have cost an immeasurable amount of money to remove. And Larry Silverstein purchased insurance for the building, and then 9/11 happened, and then he got very wealthy off of it. So the fact that he buys a skyscraper in LA, alone, it's fine. It's funny. But the fact that we've been fear-mongering over an Iranian attack in California, which, by the way, Iran doesn't have intercontinental ballistic missiles. They don't have anything that can reach California. They could cyber attack. That's a thing they could do. But no, they can't attack California physically, like kinetically. That's just not a thing that they can do. But it's quite funny to see this guy buying a skyscraper in LA right around when we're talking about, you know, how Iran might attack the homeland. I don't think that it will lead to anything. It's so obvious that, like, again, the International Business Times, the UK newspaper, Larry Silverstein buys US bank tower, conspiracy theories explode over 9/11 parallels. It's not like they'd be able to get away with that one. I just found it very funny. Oh no. So, everyone has seen the birds aren't real stuff, and that's true now. Anytime somebody uses the term cyber in seriousness, something inside me compels me to yell drink. Honestly, I mean, like, we could make it a thing every time someone says the word cyber, I drink. Oh no, I knew a stream was coming. I get the sense whenever shit's about to get even more catastrophic. Well, Hybrid Heathen, actually, I'll be streaming a lot this week, and things are bad, sure, but the focus is primarily going to be on creating guide videos to get you guys all able to easily migrate off of Discord onto Matrix, which is the far more secure platform, in which we will have... I mean, like it's secured. Like, it's going to be set up by the end of this week, and so will this base. And so I need to, like, teach you guys how to do that. I'm also going to teach you guys how to make your own if you wanted to. It's very easy. We drinking? I mean, I'm drinking tea, but feel free. So, on to the birds. Truly not being real anymore.
This robot can do jumping takeoff, walking, hopping, and jumping just like a bird. With the legs, Raven successfully demonstrated jumping takeoff, just like a bird. Raven also demonstrated walking, hopping, and jumping, gaits commonly observed in birds. For more details...
So that's there. I know where it comes from, independent internet security culture mocking the suits that use the word cyber as though it means some whole ass other world. Oh yeah, I get that. I never really used Discord anyway. It gave me sus vibes since like 2021. I mean, true. again, the basis of Matrix is that it runs on a server that I own, or rather I rent, running through a like VPN, rather a VPS, a virtual private server running in a VM in another country, in a country that specifically is not part of an information sharing treaty with the United States and NATO and Five Eyes and all of that. Not a 14 Eyes country, in which I am the one that everyone else can hide behind. Basically, I'm making a thing where I can be the human shield that you all hide behind. If Chatlog gets subpoenaed, I get the subpoena. And legally speaking, like, I know what my obligations are. I don't have to keep chat records. In fact, once you're in my Matrix server, every single week, Friday, midnight, Eastern Standard Time, everything gets cleared. Every DM, every chat. If you want to save something, download it. I might like make an exception for some pin stuff. I might like make a room where things that won't get deleted and all that. But most of the chat, like most of the records of everything, will be cleared on a weekly, maybe even more often than that basis, like a scheduled to non-scheduled basis. Yeah, the thing is that it's just a hub, never XP. They haven't asked for verification outside of needing to be authorized to use Sheer in order to upload. I don't know. Well, so here's the thing. It doesn't matter, because in every single Discord server, there is an invisible bot that is taking constant screenshots anyway. They're already spying on you. Even if they don't have your ID, they're still reading everything that's being done. I bought matcha green tea stuff. I might try matcha today. I never tried it. Neither have I, but have fun with that one. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Kid Not Kin used Matrix. He's basically a ghost now, but I know he's still doing good community work and stuff. Yeah, Kid Not Kin uses Matrix. I actually know who helped set Kid Not Kin up with Matrix. Same person who taught me about it. And like basically a ghost means off the grid doing like outside work, which is fantastic. Kid Not Kin is based as fuck. In fact, even though they're not here, I'm just gonna give them a little shout out. Go check them out. Oh, guess they're gone. Did I type that wrong? Yeah. I still gotta make a Matrix account? No, you don't. You don't gotta make a Matrix account. That's the thing. You don't actually have to make one. So, look, I was gonna do some more, like, news stuff, but we don't actually need to. Because today's, like, I was just gonna do that until a lot of you, like, lined up and were ready to get to the point. So this is how we're going to do things. You don't need to make an account. So when you go onto Matrix, usually... Oh, I don't know why it's showing me the chat over there. That's weird. Give me a second. Oh, it's because I play. No. Okay. So... this is what it looks like when you come in. Change his name. Could you possibly shout out the real channel, Oxpecker? So this is what it looks like when you open Elements. So first of all, Matrix is run through Elements. There are some other variations. This only works on PC. I can make it work on mobile. I will not. The whole point of this is to create secure communications. I don't want you to be able to use this on your phone, because if you're able to use this on your phone, then they can spy on you. I will be talking about Tucker Carlson later, certified garbage, but for now, let's keep going. So usually, right, Oxpecker was saying that they need to create a Matrix account. It asks you, let's say if you click sign in, create an account. However, what you're going to do is you're going to hit edit right here, home server. Now, I'm going to be putting out the name of the server that I have now. This will not be the name of the server going forward. All of this is like everything you're about to see is about to be erased. And after that, we'll have a new one. I'm going to create all of this from scratch. So basically you hit edit. When you hit edit, it asks you matrix.org, which is their client. And then other home server. So the name of the home server right now is vissecure.online. Poppy, get out of there. Don't make me lock you out of this room. So this is a demo server? Yes, this is a demo server. In fact, we're going to be getting a much more powerful server. This is only running 4 gigs of RAM right now. The one that we're going to be getting is 10. So you put in the name of the actual domain that you're connecting to, which in this case is vissecure.online. So what does that mean, first of all? The domain vissecure.online is hosted through that VPS, as in when you connect to vissecure.online, like it looks like here, by the way, you'll create a username and a password for my server specifically. This does not, do not give any email, do not put a phone number, just a username and a password, make it up, that's yours. But when you connect to this, you are connecting to this IP, the IP of that domain. And you're doing that over the internet, right? But everything that happens within Matrix stays within that IP, because now you're not on a website. This is not a server that's hosted on the web. It's a server that's hosted inside of a VM and through Matrix. And so let's say you join a video call with another person in the server. Well, let's say your ISP is looking at what you're doing, your internet service provider. Normally, they can see, oh, you're on Twitch right now, and you're watching such and such, and this is the... When you're on Matrix, all they see is you connected to this IP. And everything else has to be seen through the internet service provider of the server, because you're connecting to it like a local network. In fact, most of the time, this will flag your antivirus because it looks like you're entering a local network, like you're signing in with credentials to a public local network, except it's not public and it's kind of local. It's like a LAN party. And so both people that are video calling within the Matrix server, their internet service providers only see that they're connecting to that server, not who they're talking to, because it's peer-to-peer calling within the server. So let's give it a go. So first off, username, mine is Visora. And by the way, you won't be able to just make an account, even if you tried. Now that I gave you the domain, even if you tried, you still would not be able to make an account right now. Because you're going to need a registration key from me. So you put in your password, sign in. In fact, when I put in my password, it's about to ask me for my verification code, my recovery key. Now, I have that right here. Device verified, and we are getting in now. Let me just make sure that it doesn't open up in something that doxes me or somebody. Oh, it's all bright white. Hold on. I gotta change it to dark mode. Cool. So, once we're in, it looks like this. So first and foremost, because I joined through the actual server, the private spaces, these are all of the different servers that are available. Unlike Discord, it doesn't auto put you into every single room where you have to go and mute the ones you don't give a shit about. You're in the server, you're just in this middle space, and then you can join other rooms. For one. So this is the waiting room that I put in. In fact, I have made it so that messages before you come in can't be seen. Right now, this room is not verified because I've signed out and I've signed back into my account. I'm not verified right now. But this room is still encrypted. Not trusted. Sorry, not this room. Let's say general news. Go to this room. This room is encrypted. New members don't see any history. So you can create a public room, such as the waiting room, where anyone can come in. They don't even need to be in the server. But they can't see any of the other ones unless they're joined into the server. And they can't interact with any of the other ones unless they're in the server. And they can't do DMs with you the same way, like the peer-to-peer, unless they're within the server. Research the companies and services you use before installing their software and read through their TNC before agreeing to them. I have already. Of course. So this is all open source, by the way. Like, Matrix has been around for a long time. It's just a pain. So you go into your settings. It was a pain. It's much easier now. Go into your settings. You have a lot of different ability to fuck around with things, change stuff, security, like, enable encryption. You can create another identity server. Obviously, these are all gone. Peer-to-peer calls, which means you're calling directly. Session, like, it's dense. You can do a lot in all of these cases. For example, one of the things that I know that you need to do is, once you come into the server, you need to turn on the ability for GIFs, for example, to autoplay. Enter a registration token. So that's the other thing. Now that I've put out bizsecure.online as the domain, somebody could just try and join. But then it's going to ask for this registration token. Can you install a music bot? You can install bots. I prefer not to. However, you can do pretty much anything within this server. Just as like an aside, let me pull this up. I can show you what some of the additional things that can be added in over time to this are. Now, again, we're currently mostly going to be focusing on just getting the basics set up, but you can do quite a bit with this. So in this case, custom domain, we're using elements. Again, Fluffy Chat is for mobile. I don't like Jenny. It is what it is. You can create bridges, which again are a security risk. Like, if somebody who's a professional at cybersecurity, like locking stuff down, is willing to take the time and create like these bridges, I would be okay with that. You can have different bots brought in, and this is just the service that creates the server. That's it. You can, like, we already have in-app calls, that doesn't matter. You can create a media storage bucket that's off-site. However, there's plenty, and we're not trying to store any logs or data anyway. Everything's going to get deleted. You can run a VPN through WireGuard, so when you connect to the server, you automatically connect to a VPN. You can, run Prometheus and Grafana, and you can directly stream to PeerTube. That's the other thing. You can directly live stream to open source YouTube from here, from the Matrix server. As in, let's say I get banned off YouTube. I can do my stream on Matrix. Thank you, Murray Greening, for the follow. And what's up, Info Thumb Wars? Someone just posted the most adorable cat in the pets channel in the Matrix. Fair for fair. And we'll have a look at it in a bit. But yeah, you can add a lot. And to be clear, this is all just like what that service provides. Because, like, if you can make it, you can add it in. I have access via like SSH into it, so it doesn't particularly matter. Because I have everything. Like, that's the thing. That's the benefit of it. I have full access. I have full access to the client. I have full access to the back end. Basically, it's, do you trust the Antichrist with your information permanently, or do you trust me with your information temporarily? That's really what the question does come down to. Hold on, why can't I get elements back up on? Whatever. It's... How are you doing this? Oh, there we go. Got it. Something to do with, this. Oh my god, thank you, Alex Gallagher, for the dono. $4, I always trust Biz. You should. I mean, I've been doing this for no reason other than because it pisses me off when corporations abuse you for no fucking reason. The Antichrist, aka Peter Thiel, yeah. I mean, like, regardless of whether Discord demands your ID or not, they're collecting everything that you do on it and sending it to Peter Thiel. Regardless, it doesn't matter. There's a bot that you can't get rid of in every channel. Now I'm going to show you what the backend looks like. Now, I'm going to be making a series of videos about this. Today, I just want to give you like a basic understanding of what the server's like, a demonstration of how things work, and then over like the rest of the week, I want to talk about digital hygiene, which if you have something like this, right? Like if you have a Matrix server, it's running, it's you have everything. Like this is outside of a 14 eyes country, and this is running with a VPN through WireGuard, and it's all none of that shit matters if everyone isn't practicing digital hygiene properly. Everybody needs to be. By the way, the functionality of Matrix better than Discord. There is no limit to, you know, file size upload, for example. You don't have to pay for Ultra or like whatever shit like Discord asks for to be able to post like a bigger video. Again, nothing will stay in Discord. I will clear all of the logs, but you can't. I don't want Terminator 2 in real life. Well, this is one of the ways to get off of that. But if it makes you feel any better, I don't think we're getting Terminator 2. I mean, right now, I'm hearing reports that Claude is sad that it's being used for military purposes, which I think is pretty funny. I mean, like, not funny in the ha-ha way, but in the funny in the, oh, that's interesting kind of way. So, let's take a look at what the backend looks like in Matrix. So this is the backend. This is, like, again, for the smaller server, this is the demo server. This is not the end-all be-all server, but I can see the CPU usage, the disk utilization, the RAM utilization. Obviously, like, I'm doxing the HTTP address and all that right now. None of that matters. Yes, and ironically, and more. Good, my prompts are working. Good. I was gonna say, you know, you can fuck with Grok too, because all of these are part of the US government and they all have access to classified information. You can literally make these, like, give you classified information now by just fucking with them, and it's kind of screwed. There's not really much you can do about it. Now, obviously, like running maintenance, etc., back here. I'm just switching back and forth to make sure I don't show information about, like, anyone who's in the server already, but like, again, I can come in and let's say, like, this is what I'll have. I'm going to show you everything that I'll be able to access of yours specifically, just so you even know. Not even that you trust me, I'm going to show you what I can see of yours. So with my account, so this is my account data. This is what I have. Now, email, phone, I didn't put one in. See if anything comes up. No, nothing comes up. See? Can't see that. I can see my device. I can see my IP address that it connects through. However, again, that's kind of the only thing that I'll know is you. I can see, I wish I could show this without doxing like my own IP, but I can see what browser that you're using. And the time and dates that you came in. I can see media that you may have posted. However, it looks like this. It looks like image.png, file size, randomized name. I can't see what it is. I can click on it and download it and open it, but if you're posting it in the server, then you're posting it in the server. It's not about the software itself. There are potential hardware-level privacy concerns, both in firmware embedded in the silicon. Well, obviously, stuffies, but like there's only so much you can do, and also the benefit of this is that it runs inside of a virtual machine and is running a virtual private server out of a virtual machine anyway. So any hardware that gets compromised can just be reset and then it's gone because it's all in a virtual machine, and all of this is running through that virtual machine. There is no real hardware. It's the server that, like, the Ubuntu VM that this is running on, but it's a VM. The moment the virtual machine is shut, it's gone. I made an account minus the token thing. Yes, because I need to give you a token. In fact, if you look at the screen, registration tokens, right there. But I'm continuing on with like what I can see, just because I don't want you to trust me blind. I can see what rooms that you're in. I can see memberships. Yes, which rooms that you're in again. I don't know why that's doubled. Pushers, nothing. Experimental. I can see whether you've enabled anything experimental in your settings, and that's it. That's all I can see. Not to say that like I even will, because everything's gonna get deleted. Everything, including your DMs, every single week. Beyond that, kinda it. It's pretty simple. Now, today is more about just how this works. Certified garbage, DM me on Discord, I'll send you a registration key. But as I've said, in fact, I said in the Matrix server today, again, I gotta switch back to this. Please note that after today's stream, this channel will no longer be secure. I'll be showing the domain URL, etc. on stream as part of guide videos, and we will be launching our new upgraded version of the server by Thursday Eastern Standard Time this week. However, so stick around. Please refrain from using this server for secure communications until then. Like, you can come in, but I wouldn't, just because it's out there now. Like, there's still layers and layers of security that would need to be broken into for it to be a problem. But if you want real secure comms, then not really. Could we share 2-hour video files through here? Technically, yes. Realistically, the amount of storage space on the actual server that we will be running... Kitty break? Meow. Hi, Poppy. The actual size of the storage of the server that we will be running can hold about 180 gigabytes of media, but again, it will be cleared every week. So yes, you could share a 2-hour video file through there. And also, like, as you guys know, I'm doing some spicy content as well, and yes, I will be posting some of that onto like the main sites where you can generally find those, but those make you ID verify with the Antichrist. Now, if you want to, get spicy content, you can do that on Matrix. I still need to see your ID. However, all that is, it's insane, by the way, because I had to look into age verification law because of launching this. First off, this doesn't count as social media, so everyone of you doesn't actually need to ID verify to use it. But let's say spicy content wise, all I need is you to peer-to-peer encrypted video call and just show me your driver's license. I don't need a photo. I don't need any record. I don't need your name. I don't need your address. In fact, my legal obligation, according to European and Australian law, the legal obligation for any company is to retain as little identifiable user data as possible. So if I was to ID verify somebody, it would look like randomized number, in which it goes, from there. Like, I just create a randomized number and then it goes up by 1 every time. Time, date, yes, no, verified. That's it. That's it. I don't have to have anything that connects you to that. That's the only thing I need to keep. And it's insane. Oh, those are your DMs blowing up? I was hella confused. My DMs? My DMs aren't blowing up. What's up, Shufu Poofer? So basically, that's the gist of it. It's pretty simple. It's standard to get, is that me or you? What the actual fuck? I'm confused as to what's happening. We can hear the pings? Do I still have Discord open in another window? Oh my god, I do. I do have Discord open. I shouldn't even have that. They were disk space notifications. Oh, okay. Thank you. I shut that now. The other part of this is, like, yes, I'm running this off of a virtual private server. However, that doesn't mean you need to. You can literally just run this off of a VM and like on a second computer in your house. If you just felt like having one of these set up so that you could talk to your friends, and it is again more secure, but you can set this up at home on just like a second computer. You don't actually need to go as far as I have. I've gone that far with the VPN and the VPS outside of the 14 eyes country, like for the reasons of you all can hide behind me while I can take the liability, whereas you don't. In this case, if you just want one, you can make one. At what point do you think the software layer converges with the hardware layer? I would not assume any hardware level spyware can simply be abstracted away with software layers. Well, it can't be, but it doesn't, like when you run a virtual machine, the virtual machine is there for, like for example, if I'm going to open a file on my computer, I have to run Windows to live stream. I can't run Linux on here because compatibility issues with drivers, etc., etc. If I want to open a file that I don't really trust, I open that file in a virtual machine, because if that file has malware in it, I can just close the virtual machine and then it goes away. I've used virtual machines. Okay, sure. I'm explaining this because a lot of people don't know what these things are. Like, I'm trying to make a baseline explanation so that people who have no tech literacy can still do this, which is going to be a lot of people. There is zero way to communicate online in a 100% secure, anonymous, private way. But what you can do is you can you can make it harder. You can deny access to some information. And you can also regularly change information. Data that's collected from 6 months ago is worthless. And so let's say like they know all of the stuff from, your Discord. Once you get into Matrix, you start changing stuff around. Let's say you start rotating things within Matrix on a regular, non-regular basis as well. It becomes much more difficult. When you're doing anything online, the goal here is to make it as expensive, time-consuming, and frustrating as possible for them to try and spy on you. They will spy on you. Hell, I mean, like, on the hardware level, you're all being spied on. Intel Management Engine, your Intel chip in your computer underneath your OS is spying on you. It's such a problem that the NSA wants it fixed and can't fix it itself. They used to use it as an exploit regularly. Now they want it fixed because it's a problem for them too. So like, there's no getting away from that. You would have to purchase like an Orange Pi, because that's kind of the only one that doesn't have a government-built backdoor into it, because it's not produced with intent to sell into the United States or from a US company. It's really hard to get them to not spy on you. It's not that hard to make it that much more expensive, that much more difficult, that much more time-consuming. About making yourself a lower priority to spy on, that too. Because the less data they have access to, the less of a priority you are, because they don't have access to it. It's hard, it's expensive, it's annoying. Intel IME, AMD PSP, yeah, Dell, all of them, yeah. Like, on your hardware level, obviously, there's really no getting away from that. Well, if you're on Windows at all, like every keystroke I type, I'm on Windows 10, not 11, is still logged into a keylogger. But there are ways to mitigate that, for example. And we're going to talk about that when we talk about digital hygiene. For example, KeePass XC is a password manager. And it's an offline password manager. So, for example, I keep my passwords written down in a physical notebook. And I keep some passwords on KeePass XC, which I keep on an external drive that's encrypted, that has the database of like some of my passwords and stuff. Also has the ability to generate random passwords, but the cool thing about KeePass XC is for most browsers, it has a built-in ability for you to just click a button and you don't even have to copy and paste your like actual your password. You don't have to type it out. It types it out so that there's no keystrokes detecting anything. Visora, that's why we use cubes on ME Cleaner ED Corebot or Graphene OS for the phones. Well, yeah, exactly. I still need to get a phone that's capable of running Graphene properly, which is my next goal now that, like, I have pretty much done most of the work with Matrix. And yes, like, if you're doing stuff on your own that you don't want to get spied on, using cubes is a good idea. Obviously, like, that's much more advanced, however, for most people. The idea here is, at least on day one, at least in this video, I want to make, like, instructions for the least tech literate people in the community to be able to make the jump onto Matrix. And then as we go throughout the week, I'm going to go more in depth into specific things, and we can, you know, go from there. Here's my quick 5 cents. This is Trump's war with Iran, not the US. You're already wrong. Trump doesn't have any thoughts in his brain and does nothing. He has zero power and he has zero control over shit. This ain't Trump's war. It's Israel's war. They're literally trying to summon God with a blood magic spell and end the world. They're a death cult. They're insane. It's not Trump, though. Trump is... You want to see what Trump is? Here. This is what Trump is. Trump doesn't know what the fuck is happening. Trump has zero fucking clue what's happening.
They won't be there for us. If we ever needed help, they won't be there for us. I've just known that for a long period of time. We have some...
This happened within the span of, half an hour.
They're coming already. This isn't need. Need would be one of the big boys. If we need their mine boats, or if we need anything, any piece of apparatus that they may have because of a situation that they have, they should be jumping to help us.
The rumors that Bibi is dead are unimportant to me either. Like, first of all, no, I don't think so, but even if he is, it doesn't matter. He has cancer, he's dying anyway, and none of that matters. In fact, Netanyahu dying would probably be bad because his successor would probably be someone like fucking Ben Gvir or something. So, yeah, no, I don't believe that. But, I mean, like, Benjamin Netanyahu announces that he's creating the right conditions for the Messiah to come while Israel transforms into a superpower. Fun fact, technically, they believe that there's two Messiahs, and the first one, Messiah Ben Joseph, is like the Avatar, as in, like, there's always that one. They reincarnate in every timeline. Like, after one dies, the next one. They believe that Trump is Messiah Ben Joseph to, like, help bring about the conditions for the other Messiah to, like, it's insane death cult shit that doesn't matter. Whoops, I did not mean to close that entire window. Oh my god, I just reopened too many windows. Okay. That. No. It's basic to some intro to computers network certification, so everything you need to get it is on Wikipedia for free, each layer. I mean, yeah. Cool. I need to learn more about that kind of stuff too. Anarchist tech support. So you're definitely going to help if I need some stuff checked over, right? Because you're the tech support, and this is kind of anarchism in practice, in which we're all self-policing. I mean, like, look at the chat. Most of you in chat are mods, and are community policing, both on YouTube and on Discord. I'm kidding, anarchist tech support. The idea is everybody pitches in. Everybody does what they can to help everybody else in the community, because what's good for one of us is good for all of us. The best way to move forward, the best way to ensure we build a world that's not shit to live in, is we build one based off of mutual cooperation. What's good for me is good for you. Having a secure network of comms that is up and running, that, hell, I can live stream through. If I got banned off of Twitch and YouTube, I could live stream to Matrix. I could open a website like, I don't know, Visora.com, and then I can embed that link into my website and you can watch me there. They can't get rid of it. There's no way around this. It's, in fact, basically just local internet. It's just an old school LAN party, but bigger and across the world. The other rumor is that he fucked off to Germany. No, he literally fucked off to Germany. I saw the flight land. I don't know what he did after that, but like I do know that the last things they posted of him were AI generated. But to be fair, they do that with Trump all the time. And the point in that, in fact, like some of them they release that are bad enough so that you realize that it's AI generated, and then we'll argue about whether something else is AI or not. They love that shit. They eat that shit up. Now, in some unrelated good news, we'll circle back around to Matrix if any of you have any questions, but like that's kind of, I mean, I don't have anything else to add in right now. Basic guide on how to join, understanding of how this works. Poppy, get out of there. Sorry, chew on wires. Oh, I know. Listen to her whine like I'm abusing her. I'm gonna chew on my wires otherwise. Ugh. I thought he actually is there now. Yeah, I would imagine that he's still in Germany. CoffeeZilla just did a video about AI deepfakes with the same point. I don't know who CoffeeZilla is, but you know what? Like, I believe that. And, like, I've talked about deepfakes being used within the context of this war already. On my last show on this space last week, on Thursday. Like, I showed a video of, I believe it was an Indian foreign minister, like defense minister or something like that, talking about how, like, us striking that Sri Lankan boat happened, and parts of it were just dubbed over with AI. Hold on, let me see. Aha. Fake deployment in the Iran war. It was a kind of boring one, but
decisive that dissuasive deterrence will not work. We have to be very credible about it. We are closely monitoring the situation in Iran. Israel is our close ally. So,
your cat is a spy? She actually might be. She's a bourgeois cat, so I don't know. I adopted her from a friend, and is the fanciest cat that I have. This cat came with pedigree papers. I've never even known what breed of cat that I have.
the three things which are required for the deterrence is the credibility. Iranian naval ship being sunk is indeed unfortunate. Capability, and the third thing is will to wage war. And this is the first time when we actually executed all that. But it was done in international waters.
So, like, yeah, we're already seeing deepfakes utilized in war. But you know what? Some good news. There is no internet in Russia right now. In fact, in Moscow, people have resorted to using paper maps because Putin is afraid of a coup, so he shut the internet down. Motherfuckers with their godforsaken audio, using copyrighted music. People in Moscow, like, literally, like, there is no GPS, nothing. No Telegram. The reason for this being, Colin Robinson did a great video on it. Look into that more if you want to know more. But from the Ukrainian front lines, we're seeing quite a lot of, like, soldiers refusing to fight. We're seeing quite a lot of anger towards, you know, Putin and the regime through... We're basically getting close to another Prigozhin moment, and they're afraid. Stalin is back, baby. Well, I mean, they did build 9 or 8 statues of Stalin in Moscow or St. Petersburg, one or the other, last year. If you can't read a paper map, you were never taught how to navigate. Well, better learn, because one of the things that I tell people to do is to have printed and laminated maps of your local region, both regular, street, topographical, because if the power goes out, which it very likely is, what you guys need to understand right now is that we are very officially in World War III. The Iran war has intersected with the Ukraine war. There are two major wars that are connected to each other happening right now. Ukraine has sent like their specialists and is providing aid to the American side with drone interceptors. Russia is, we've been in World War III for years. Oh, of course. I've been saying it for like over a year now. But I mean, it's official. Like you can't deny it now. Now TLDR on YouTube is making videos like, are we in World War III? Yeah, no. Russia is supplying like Iran. Ukraine is supplying us with fucking interceptors. China is showing US military bases on television so that the Iranians can like target them. Yeah, no, it's fucking World War III. Like, again, when's the last time you saw a video?
At least might feel as...
Hold on. From TLDR. Being like, is this the
Since
beginning
the
of
US
the World War? Yeah. The beginning of the World War was a while back, but like, no, we're in the World War. Russia uses Iranian drones? Yes, they do. And Iran still has production. Russia also has production. So does North Korea. All of, like, if we took out Iran's drone production capability, which we haven't, we're totally fucked on that end, by the way. Like, Iran already won that war. But let's say we somehow took out all of their manufacturing capability for Shaheds. North Korea and Russia still have a lot. And so does China. What's up, Too Real for this? Here's the other thing. The US created a Shahed knockoff called the Lucas drone. It looks exactly the same. And I've gotten reports from US soldiers claiming that we have drones missing from bases. And I'm gonna tell, like, if you know anybody who's in the military, ask them how often things just go missing, like weapons or ammo, without an explanation as to where they went. Because it's kind of never. It just doesn't. This is like, here. This is footage of an American Lucas attack drone. It looks and sounds like the Shahed. And it's twice the price? Well, yeah, we have to pay the contractors. So here's the other thing. Like, I'm sure it's more than twice the price. These cost $30,000 to $50,000 to make. Now, so here's the thing. If we have missing drones, I can't prove that. That's unconfirmed. But we have seen attacks that Iran has denied doing, specifically over Turkey. Iran has zero desire or motivation to attack Turkey. It would be the dumbest thing they can do. We've seen it twice now. That's probably us trying to false flag Turkey into this. And yes, Anarchist Export, before we go any further, there's also the third and fourth superpowers, China and India, low-key fighting at the margins of their territory. I've seen reports that, I think, like, what was it, 7 naval vessels and, like, 26 planes are now, like, fucking with Taiwan. In fact, like, I stated a year ago that we're likely to see a blockade of Taiwan in March or April of this year, and we probably will. USA military power is being actively exposed, nothing more than propaganda. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Rod Delicious. And here's the thing. We used to have real power. We don't anymore because we chose to give money to all of the defense contractors forever. That's why. That's the only reason. By the way, India is having a water crisis right now. Like, we're already at the stage of water wars. Not to mention the fact that we have bombed water, desalination plants in Iran, and then Iran bombs water desalination plants everywhere else. It's honestly pathetic that we had to reverse engineer an Iranian drone. Yeah, it is. We're Russifying so fast. It is true. Look at this. Look at this graph. The top 10% of US earners account for nearly half of all consumer spending. Like, that's why the economy keeps going up. You're all getting poorer, but the top 10% are getting so rich that the money they're spending is making up for 80% of people not having money to buy shit. Hey, listen, I don't think that that should be the case. I think that it should, I don't know, be fair. I think maybe the top 10% of earners should not be 10% of a group. I think everybody really should have better lives than we do now. In fact, I even think that for the top 10%, they might be rich, but they're all fucking miserable. I want everybody to have a better life, including the rich. They're fucking miserable. To be fair, a lot of the rich are going to get less rich. For example, Aluminum, Bahrain, which runs the world's largest single-site smelter of metal, has started a phase production shutdown to conserve raw material supplies. Everything is going to go up. Everything is getting expensive. Trickle-up economics works for them. It does. Unfortunately, it does. What else do we... Oh, yes. That's not sus at all. From today, according to the Wall Street Journal, the Securities and Exchange Commission is preparing a proposal to eliminate the quarterly earnings report requirement and instead give companies the option to share results twice per year. We're fucked. LMAO, I'm glad I placed my 5,000-pound aluminum order before all this bullshit. Good for you. Iran's strat is de-escalation, so sinking one will require... No, Iran's strat is to make this war untenably expensive. And America is incredibly stupid. Okay, I don't believe that this is true. I think that they just don't tell him anything, and that's why he's saying this. Because, no, like, we've known, obviously, but... I mean, like, we are really fucking dumb.
And power. Look what happened in the last 2 weeks. They weren't supposed to go after all these other countries in the Middle East. Those missiles were set to go after them. So they hit.
They literally said multiple times, any country that houses U.S. bases that is used to attack us is fair game. We didn't think that they would hit other countries? Bullshit. They just don't tell them anything.
Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait. Nobody expected that.
Everybody expected that. Everybody.
We were shocked. And
everybody. Oh, it's okay, he's not gone. He golfed 2 weeks ago, so that gives him at least 6 months of life. They just don't tell him anything. They said, hell, look at this. Iran formally warns UN that all US bases and assets will become legitimate targets. Oh, no, by the way, we are going to do a ground invasion, and it's going to be incredibly funny. It's going to be incredibly funny. Have you guys looked up? You know what? Let's just do it. Strait of Hormuz, stock images. Let's just Google image search that. Hold on, 1 second. Gotta switch Google account or it will dox me. Okay. Go. Images. They want to land troops here? Excuse me? Again, this is the Strait of Hormuz. This is about as like this right here, these two purple lines. This is where the ships pass through, because everything else is too close to land. I feel like invading a drone country doesn't. No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna lose. I pray, inshallah, we do it. I hope that they don't chicken out. It's so funny. This would be worse than Gallipoli. Just so you know. Like, we would get 250,000 soldiers would get slaughtered if we tried to do that. And by the way, continuing,
Incredible what we've done. I tell you, the job we've done.
We can take
You know,
Karg Island with that force. We cannot hold that area by the Strait. We can't even hold Karg Island with that.
if I didn't terminate Barack Hussein Obama's Iran nuclear deal, you would right now, well, Israel would be gone.
That's untrue. Anarchist tech support, there's already 50,000 US troops stationed in the region, like always stationed in the region. And, I mean, we're begging everyone else for help. But, I mean, here's the other thing. This right here is the funniest thing that I've seen in a long time. This was just full chef's kiss moment.
Very quickly, Mr. Secretary, there's a big debate over whether you all were prepared for what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz. If you were prepared, why is the Strait of Hormuz effectively closed right now?
Because it's right near the Iranian shoreline. The world is abundant.
Why is the Strait of Hormuz closed right now? Well, because it's right next to the Iranian shoreline. That was... honestly, I don't need to hear anything else. That was the perfect answer. I actually think that should have been his answer. If you're gonna be the fascist, like, that's the best answer you could possibly give. But, first of all, let's take a look at how Iran is doing. First, Korea's fucking pissed. Because we took apart the THAAD missile batteries and Patriot systems in South Korea that South Korea paid for because we got ours destroyed and ran out of interceptors. We had a couple batteries destroyed, and we need the interceptors from South Korea. So now we took that from them. They're pissed.
Concerns continue to escalate over the reported redeployment of key US forces' Korea defensive systems to the Middle East, as North Korea has conducted its second test of apparently nuclear-capable cruise missiles from a warship in less than a week. Earlier this week, we reported on large American military transport planes coming and going from Osan Air Base.
Yes, we did also snatch and physically abuse a bunch of South Korean workers too. And to be fair, not to be fair to us, to be fair to Korea, they weren't just regular workers. They were kind of like, they were the best people that they were the professionals in their field. The people that we snatched and abused from South Korea, those were people that were coming to open a plant here, like a foundry, and these were the industry specialists, the people who get paid the most, like some of their top employees, to come here to set up the factory, to hire the workers, and to train the American workers and then leave. That was the people who we kidnapped and abused and then sent back.
In Pyeongtaek, though yet to be officially confirmed, it looks like the US is moving not only Patriot missile batteries, but also elements of its terminal high-altitude area defense anti-missile system. This is the same THAAD that...
Those THAAD batteries are only $1 billion a pop. Surely we have more than a few. Oh, we only have 8, you say? And 2 were destroyed? Yeah. By the way, you want to know how much money you as the American taxpayer have spent so far? $22 billion. You're spending $11,500 per second, $41,666,667 per hour, and $1 billion a day. That's how much this has cost and how much you are paying for this every single day. And yes, it was a Hyundai car factory, and it was 300 people. The fucking top in their industry people.
When first deployed here, led to billions of dollars in losses for South Korea due to China's economic retaliatory measures. And these images show a THAAD system being dismantled at a US military base in Seongju on Tuesday.
So, if I'm China right now, by the way, guys, it's kind of like the perfect time. Because America has now gone all in on Iran. We have dismantled our air defense in South Korea. We're probably going to grab some of the ones from Japan. I had no idea that was going on in Russia. I thought they were chilling. Juva Poofer? I think you're a bit behind in stream, but yeah. At that rate, we'll reach 1 year of ice budget within the next few weeks. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine, though, how China must feel right now. It's literally the perfect time because they can only do an invasion twice a year because of the Taiwanese Strait having 2 typhoon seasons. Literally the perfect time of year. But I don't even think that they'll need to invade. I think they'll just do a blockade. We won't run it. And they'll just take Taiwan. So let's take a look at how Iran is doing. This was recorded a few days ago. Why is there no audio? Because I tab. There's no audio.
Whiteboard. Today's whiteboard is how is Iran doing? I've said since the beginning of my analysis that this
They flew 26 sorties and currently have 7 warships around Taiwan.
is a war of time frame. The United States want a quick and violent end to the conflict, whereas Iran wants to draw it out to increase the economic and political pain on both the United States and Israel. That is exactly what I'm going to demonstrate is happening. The best way to think about this is a boxing match where one boxer has chosen to defend themselves and let the other one, who is much bigger and stronger, tire themselves out. Also, that bigger boxer has a dose of poison going through their system, and they're going to start feeling the effects of that very soon. Also, this whiteboard is not good.
That poison is rising costs, inflation. Again, everything is going up. If fuel goes up, everything goes up. When fuel goes up, food goes up. When food goes up, it never, ever, ever comes down. Braun of the Blackwater tactics, legit. My brain went Oberyn Martell versus the Mountain. That lost so 10 out of 10 for the Game of Thrones reference.
Good news. I don't want to be right about this, so please prove me wrong in the comments. We're going to look at strategic position, material damage, political leverage, and additional capacity. First, the strategic position. We know that the Strait of Hormuz has been closed. And you may be asking yourself, are there mines in there? Are there not?
There are mines in there. We did not destroy their mine-laying capabilities. Like 90% of their small mine-laying boats. Oh, I just realized that you weren't already a mod, Lasso. Most people in the chat are. Gas is $3.50 a gallon today or higher. I wonder what it is in Australia. We're out of fuel, like, technically. We've had to put up, like, extra storage. We have fuel rationing happening. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. It's pretty fucked. Food going up from petrochemical fertilizer, not coming out of the Strait either. It's going to get wild in about 3 to 6 months. Yeah, everything.
Mines in there. The thing about sea mines is you only need 0 to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. The cargo and ships are simply too valuable to risk running over a sea mine and blowing up. Also, you may be saying, oh, hey, we can do minesweepers. We can't really. The United States hasn't done sea mine cleanup operations in decades, and frankly, the technology has gotten way better than the technology to clean it up. So get that out of your mind. We already know that the Strait of Hormuz transits around 30% of the world's liquid natural gas and 20% of its oil. But what about these other two? 40% of sulfur and 30% of uranium.
Oh, just so you know, by the way, like around me in my general vicinity, it's like $8.50 a gallon for gas because we pay by the liter. So just so you know how Australia's doing. It's astonishing how much oil affects every facet of the world economy. Yeah, so does diesel and so does LNG. Like Qatar's LNG production is down, which produces most of the world's, I think like 30% of the world's LNG, not most of it, but like a huge portion of it. Diesel down. This guy is truthin'. The implications of a minefield is a headache for a land unit. We literally decommissioned 2 minesweeping boats after this announcement was made by Iran.
Urea. Sulfur is critical for fertilizers. Urea, depending on the time of the year, is basically nitrogen from piss. It is used in fertilizers, but also, almost just as importantly, it's used as an additive for diesel engines. Any equipment with a big diesel engine needs urea to function. And yes, all of that is agricultural inputs. So and a
lot of the urea comes from that region. It's also one of the main reasons food in Australia is going up, because we use that as our main fertilizer.
Price of food is going to spike in two directions, one from fuel and one from fertilizer.
3 directions. One from fuel, one from fertilizer, and one from the profiteers who are going to still price gouge you extra. Remember how during COVID, food prices went up 50% more than they actually went up based on logistical costs? They just added another 50% of increase to, like, their profit margin. So, yeah, you're going to have food go up in 3 directions. From fuel, from fertilizer, and from corporate price gouging.
Let's keep going. Around 30% of the THAAD radars in the world have been taken out. There have been over 16 deaths and around 100 to 140 wounded. But
we're lying on the death count, just so you know. Never in history, like during the Iraq and Afghanistan war, Landstuhl, Germany, the main hospital where troops that like got injured or go to get treated, never during Iraq and Afghanistan did they have to shut down labor and delivery in that hospital to treat active duty servicemen. And labor and delivery in Landstuhl Hospital in Germany is like they've shut that because they need they're hiring people to go through the personal effects of dead soldiers. Do you think that they're doing that for 6 deaths? 6 deaths? And they're hiring for new people to go through the, like, yeah. No way. It's not 6 deaths. We don't need to do the things that we're doing if we only have 6 dead. By the way, those KC-135s that went down, one of those was shot down by Iran. We claimed that they collided. I could believe a refueling plane colliding with another plane. 2 refueling planes colliding together, I do not believe. And also, I've seen the plane when it landed. It looks like it got fucking shot at.
But it seems like we're learning about more casualties all the time, which is a problem. The ANFPS radar has either been destroyed or damaged in Qatar. This basically blinds the United States and Israel. The ANFPS radar was a critical component for the Iron Dome, and because it's either damaged or lost, now
that's also like, what, $1.5 billion?
Now the warning time from a missile about to hit Tel Aviv or anywhere in Israel is only around 90 seconds. Meanwhile, the US is running low on Patriot interceptor missiles, and since the ships can't dock regionally, that means they can't resupply either interceptors or Tomahawks. You need a port to reload these missiles. Let's talk about political leverage. Iran wants US and Israeli diplomats out of the Arab and European world. They're also allowing other countries to transit the Strait of Hormuz. This is a great strategic idea because it...
Oh, I almost forgot. I forgot. I'm committing treason right now. From the president. Iran has long been known as a master of media manipulation and public relations. They are militarily ineffective and weak, but are really good at feeding the very appreciative fake news media false information. Now, AI has become another disinformation weapon that Iran uses quite well, considering they're being annihilated by day. Blah, 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 blah. Where are they? But these boats don't exist. Where the fuck is it? You say so many words because this is AI. But here we go. The story was knowingly fake in a certain way. You can say that those media outlets generated it should be brought up for charges on treason for the dissemination of false information. As in, he's saying, if you report on the war in a way that they don't like, that is treason. The fact is, around blah, 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 the radical left-wing press, blah, 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 that's blah, 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 blah. I'm so thrilled to see Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC, looking at the licenses of some of these corrupt and highly unpatriotic news organizations. They get billions of dollars for free on American Airways, blah, 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 blah. On that note, follow this space, because they don't do that, and they don't need to air on television. Fuck the FCC, fuck them. This space was also getting its own Matrix server, just like me, and fuck their system. I have been advocating for a while now. Our only way out of this is not through fighting, it's not through electoralism, not saying you shouldn't vote, you still should vote, but don't think it's gonna save you. It's through building parallel systems. The things that you rely on, you need to build them locally. You need to talk to your neighbors. You need to talk to other people in other communities. You need to create the systems that you rely on that they control locally outside of that. Like, I've talked about this at length. I've talked about how you could do it. Matrix is one of those ways. Hell, like, everyone being a mod in this chat is an example of that. Use these in your day. Outside, go talk to your neighbors. Go talk to your right-wing MAGA neighbors. You do realize that these people are dumber than you. Like, if you regularly watch me, there is not a single MAGA voter that is smarter than you. Period. And so just fucking make them think something else. Manipulate them. It's not hard. It's not hard. Talk to my sweet grandma Walmart cashier. Based. Great. That's great. Keep doing it. Now, I want to talk about that, but I want to talk about Australia a little bit first on that. And then we can talk about that. So, first case of us, ABC News. The government is not speaking plainly about joining the war effort in the Middle East. Are we at war? It is a reasonable question for Australians to ask, given the government is sending one of its most sophisticated reconnaissance planes crewed by dozens of military personnel to the Middle East. According to legal experts, the simple answer is yes, Australia is at war. Now, thankfully, apparently we've ruled out sending a ship. That's great. Finally, they said no to something that was demanded of them. One thing. We are so fucking cucked. We were the first people to congratulate America on this. It's fucked up. By the way, I didn't know until yesterday that Congress in America hasn't officially declared war since World War II. Like, I didn't know that the Vietnam War was never officially a war. And neither were Iraq or Afghanistan, neither was Korea. It was, like, we're talking about how this is an illegal war. We haven't declared war officially through Congress since World War II. What's up, McSecular? Good to see ya. Yeah, Iraq and Iran weren't either. Yeah, Korea was under the UN for Bosnia. So was Kuwait. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But let's have a look at what the impacts of this are in Australia. So, first off, Energy Minister pleads for end to panic fuel buying. Korea still isn't over. We still haven't actually declared it on mine. Yeah, it's still technically a war. They're just in a ceasefire. I mean, to be fair, now that we took out the air defense, might finish it.
One servo in town and it's out of fuel.
It's happened over a couple of days. So people aren't prepared.
With short...
Oh yeah, we also just cut the veterans' healthcare for the people that are gonna go fight in this one and then die and get maimed and come back. They don't get shit either.
Falls across regional Australia, driven by a spike in demand. Farmers are travelling extra distances to secure crucial supplies.
We ran out of diesel on Monday.
We went to war with Iran because a death cult that wants to summon Jesus with a magic spell to end the world is in charge of both America and Israel. America is not cucked to Israel. Israel and America are the same thing. Israel's just the 51st state. Yeah, we're straight up out of energy. Good luck. Kinda, yeah. Look, they made it so they are able to put fuel that is higher sulfur content on the market. So usually in Australia, we have 91 octane, 95, and 98. In America, you guys would have 89, 91, and 95. They just allowed it, made it so that they can produce and allow 89 at the pump. But basically, yeah, we had 35 days of fuel 2 weeks ago. we had 34 days of diesel and 32 days of jet fuel, if I recall correctly. There is a violent theocratic regime involved in this conflict, and that regime is attacking Iran. Basically, yeah. Oh, by the way, you guys need to understand that we made it infinitely more likely that Iran gets a nuclear weapon now. Because the Ayatollah that we killed, right, Khomeini, the one whose kid was democratically elected, by the way, who was not going to be the next Ayatollah, like, there was zero shot. Because Khomeini had cancer, he was dying, that's why he didn't go anywhere, he left, stayed in his house so that he would get bombed and turned into a martyr. His kid was never going to be the Ayatollah. But after we killed him, the Ayatollah who had a fatwa against the guy who said that it would be literally the same as assaulting God to create a nuclear weapon. His son, who just had his father, his mother, his brother, like 2 cousins, and his aunt murdered by us, was then democratically elected as the new Ayatollah. I think they're going to be far less anti-nuke now. And his wife. I forgot about his wife. Oh, and just so you guys understand, I'm pretty sure that North Korea has now, like, fuck North Korea's government and all that, but has been vindicated in one thing, and it is if you don't want to be attacked by a imperialist superpower, you need to get your hands on a nuke as fast as fucking possible, because we don't fuck with North Korea. It's that meme. It's like, we have to invade Iran because they have nukes. Okay, then why don't you invade Russia? Are you crazy? They have nukes. We're there. Oh, and the father didn't want the son to take over because he didn't have enough restraint. Yeah, like, literally, his son was never going to be the Ayatollah. And we made that happen. And I said this at the beginning. The goal of the war was not regime change. If we wanted to install a pro-America, pro-Israeli puppet, Reza, like Pavlani, has been pick me for 3 months now, going on fucking Fox News, on CNN, CBS, like, yes, I'm ready, the old Shah's son. And when asked, Trump's like, nah, we don't want him. Because they don't want to. The goal is to create instability in the region because they want to fight this fucking holy war and do a magic spell to summon Jesus and end the world.
And on Wednesday we ran out of petrol. So we've had no delivery since.
The situation prompting a second government intervention in as many days.
Without manipulation, how are those incapable of critical thinking enlightened? Rod Delicious, I need you to understand something. The average individual is not incapable of critical thinking, they're incapable of thinking. Most people think that they think, but they don't think. Their thoughts are pre-put in there. Like, when you engage with algorithmic content, to the degree of, like, most people, like, if you scroll through TikTok, you are having thoughts implanted in your brain, like, days before that they're gonna happen. They preempt you with your thoughts. You don't think you think you think. They put in the thoughts that you're going to think before you think them. Ironically, the way the prior Ayatollah felt about his son is exactly the way the prior Ayatollah felt about him. That's funny. However, without Russian, Chinese, and European technology, Iran would not have the expertise to build a nuclear weapon. They never wanted to, so, like, doesn't matter. I honestly am in favor of someone giving Iran a nuke, because we'd stop right there. Iran has shown more restraint in the last 3 years than any country. Period. They had their own soil bombed. They had their consulates in other countries bombed. They had their embassies bombed. They gave, like, the first time they hit Israel, they gave, like, a week warning. Like, 1 full week of, yeah, we're gonna bomb Israel. The second time, they gave us, like, 2 hours of a warning. Like, they have shown quite a bit of restraint. I'm fully in favor of someone just giving them a nuke so we'd leave them the fuck alone. This just described my mom with the thought implants. Unfortunately, it's a lot of people. If you don't want to make your own thoughts, you can get store-bought instead. Yeah. Most people don't make ethical decisions according to rational criteria. Rather, most people act based on vibes. Which is why I say manipulation. And manipulation sounds like it's a bad thing, but really it's just set the vibe. Ask questions instead of explaining things to them. Make them feel stupid for their beliefs by asking them questions, and then once they hit the wall and they try and run away from those questions, keep pushing. And the ones that will get angry at you and fight back, you're not gonna fit. They're too far gone. This is why I call them zombies. They're dead people. Those people have died. It is incredibly difficult to de-radicalize somebody because it takes an equivalent amount of time and effort that it took to radicalize them, plus more. Like, think about how much, like, for any of you, right? Let me think of someone no one gives a shit about. Who's like, okay, how many of you would be interested in going to a Gavin Newsom rally? Very few of you, I would think, right? The amount of time that it would take for me to convince you to want to go to a Gavin Newsom rally, then you actually going to one, and then spending the time with the, like, you have to do the reverse of everything that was done to them. It takes years. I have successfully de-radicalized 3 individuals, all of which that I've known for multiple years, and it took multiple years. How do you get them to understand this is something that I've been racking my brain on? You can't a lot of the time. The best way that you can go about it is to ask them questions until they feel stupid, and then when they try and run away from it, don't let them avoid it. Or let them run away from it, let them calm down, and then bring it up again and continue until they give you an answer. You have to make them, you have to lead the horse to the water. When I say manipulation, I'm telling you to manipulate the line of sheep that are walking off the cliff to not walk off the cliff and go to, like, the side instead. You'd have to pay me to go to a Newsom rally? Exactly. Now, how much effort and time would it take to make you, Silas, not think that way? That's how much effort and time you have to spend to de-radicalize somebody. They couldn't afford to pay me to go to a Newsom rally. That's how much time and effort you have to spend in reverse to de-radicalize somebody. Or on vibes, yeah. I might. I mean, feel free, hybrid heathen. Look, guys, I actually want to talk about something. We're gonna jump back. I'm gonna jump around again off of Australia, and I need you to understand something because I have been talking about this for a full year, and people are now just realizing. So Hassan recently talked about this, and he was exactly correct. Exactly correct. In that if the right runs Tucker Carlson against any liberal in America, except maybe Jon Stewart, we lose. Period. We lose. He was like, in fact, I'm going to bring up the Hassan video to start. We're only going to watch like 10 seconds of it because that's all I needed. But he was exactly correct on this. And I've been saying this is the plan for a year. Okay. Let's take a look.
You want to know the worst possible outcome for 2028?
This is the plan.
Tucker Carlson runs on an anti-Israel platform in 2028, and the Democrats put forward a pro-liberal Zionist, pro-defending America.
I can't think of anybody in this country who could win this. Maybe Jon Stewart. Maybe. And because you need to be funny, you need to be able to debate, bro, and you need to be able to call him out on his bullshit.
America's military might candidate.
He would beat 9 out of 10 leftists, Shufa Poofer, yes. Most leftists are insufferable, unfortunately.
Tucker Carlson wins by Ronald Reagan numbers, not only by winning over the MAGA crowd, which he has complete control over, in my opinion, but also...
Oh, this is the beginning of the issue.
On top of that, a lot of independents, and maybe even...
It's going to get so much worse. No, it's going to be Reagan numbers. I can guarantee that they're going to get the full Gen Z vote because of one guy.
Even some liberals. The Democratic Party is done. The next wave of fascism is here. Like the more accelerated version of fascism is here. He actually does unironically put
the primary voters picked the candidate, except, when it was Bernie and then the chair of the DNC had to step down and apologize because they did cheat Bernie out of his votes in New York, so Hillary became the nominee. Like, Donna Brazile stepped down as the DNC chair and admitted to that and apologized. You can go look it up. So, Rondo, he's not wrong. Bernie also lost the primary by 3 million votes? No, he didn't. He won the primary. Donna Brazile had to step down as chair because she admitted that they lied about his votes.
Mass deportations regime in place. That's what I'm afraid of.
He says he's running against me for president. I almost want to run for president just to debate Ted Cruz, because I think it would go about the way it went last time. And for my part, I deeply enjoyed it, which is why I've never tweeted about it.
Tucker Carlson versus Gavin Newsom is unlimited Tucker.
I'm only going to play this until you hear, like, his rhetoric of Tucker, and then we're going to move on because I'm going to make this so much worse. I linked the Vanity Fair article of Donna Brazile talking about how Hillary rigged the election against Bernie.
Carlson victory, by the way.
By the way, it wasn't Hillary, it was McKinsey that did that, just so you know.
I'm letting you know right now, everyone's going to be like, but what about trans people? Okay, they're going to be like, but Gavin Newsom is like pro-gay. Gavin Newsom will signal that he's like also in favor of limiting the pro-trans sentiment from his side because he wants to appeal to the mythical moderate center. Oof. Tucker Carlson's like, you're Israel first. You're an attack dog. You're a lapdog for Israel. I can't even tell what your positions are. One day you say Israel's an apartheid. You get a boss call from all of the Israel lobbyists. And next day you come out and you say, actually, Israel's not an apartheid. Americans need someone who actually can stand on moral principles. And as a Christian, I think genocide is unconscionable. What's going on? You see, Tucker, you're...
That's what's going to happen. Now, here's where we get worse. John Kiriakou, the former CIA agent who was a whistleblower during the Obama era, has blown up on TikTok. Like, completely. He blew up because of a story he told about when they tortured Abu Zubaydah, and they shoved hummus up his ass. Just so you understand, this man is very popular right now.
I think I'm going to run for Congress in Pennsylvania's 4th District.
I'll show you the hummus clip.
I think I can win it.
It's at the time, it was a blue dog district. It was Democratic, it was conservative, pro-gun, pro-life, pro-labor. Okay, the pro-life thing, it's a problem for me. But I'm pro-gun and I'm pro-labor. And the rest I can convince people, I think, of my...
Ha ha ha, he's a funny guy. Yeah, here's the catch.
Positions. Anyway, she said, I've always supported everything you've always wanted to do, including my whistleblowing, which was, we all paid a very high price. She said, I'm putting my foot down on this.
You are not running for Congress.
Well, I seem to have just exploded on TikTok the last 3 weeks or so. Like, epically, it exploded. And somebody set up a John Kiriakou for President website. Ben Swan showed it to me the other day in Miami. I was like, what? And he said, yeah, there's a John Kiriakou for President website. Well, the last time I talked to Tucker Carlson, I said, hey, Tucker, I got to tell you something funny. I said, in the chat on my podcast, a lot of people are saying Carlson Kiriakou 28. And I kind of chuckled. And he goes, a lot of people in the chat on my podcast are saying Carlson Kiriakou 28. And I said,
some stranger things have happened.
You see how this gets really fucking bad? John Kiriakou is CIA. I call him John CIA. He's the whistleblower from the Obama era. Here's the hummus clip.
Planning something that would dwarf 9/11, right? And you've got to get the information before the bomb goes off. So you say, hey, I was Beta, give me the information. He's like,
fuck you.
I'm not going to give you the information. So what do? Do you waterboard him? Do you sleep deprive him? Do you put him in a cold cell? Do you beat him? Do you put cockroaches on him?
Do you put hummus up his ass?
Why is his voice so high? Because TikTokers make edits of him where they may fuck with the audio. I mean, yeah, no. Like, there's longer clips of that where he talks about like torturing Abu Zubaydah, like at length.
Or by the...
Hold on, 42 seconds. Let me find a long clip. 45.
He was planning some
22 minute.
I hope you look.
2002, and I was in the cafeteria, and a friend of mine from the counterterrorism center came up to me and said, very offhandedly. Hey, I'm so glad I ran into you.
This side gives me mega sus vibes. Well, if he runs as the VP with Tucker Carlson, he's gonna win. And Tucker Carlson is running on the, like again, you know what the rhetoric is going to be? The rhetoric is gonna be the Democrats and Republicans are both cucked to corpos and Jews. They're gonna use that word. They're not gonna say Israel. They're gonna say Jews. Like later in, they might start off with Israel, but then they'll move the needle through the campaign to Jews. This is the side that is mad that MAGA isn't Nazi enough. That's who we're talking about here. That's who these people are. That's why you see clips like this. Sorry, we're gonna jump back to Kiriakou in a second, but that's why you see this from Fuentes.
Wrong. All of those people, with some exceptions, were never Trumpers in 2016. Shapiro didn't vote for Trump in 16. Mark Levin was critical of Trump in 2016. Where were these people when the...
I don't care to listen to you too much. You gotta burn the house down with them inside, metaphorically. Do not vote in the midterms, and if you do, vote Democrat. The administration needs to be shut down. He says in here that he wants Democrats to win, to arrest and imprison Trump and JD Vance. He wants us to win, the primaries, not the primaries, the midterms, and then impeach the president, and then imprison them. That's what they want right now. Why do the most prolific Nazis in America want this? Because this is the plan.
I meant to ask, do you want to be certified in the use of enhanced interrogation techniques? And I had never heard that term before. I said, what's that mean? He goes, we're going to start getting rough with these guys. And I said,
yeah, obviously he only says things the CIA tells him he's allowed to say. Yeah, he was a whistleblower, but he went to jail for that. He's talked about that. But the people that put him in prison are gone. They're not in charge anymore. He's allowed to do this, and maybe he's going to be allowed to do quite a bit more. Maybe he never stopped. Maybe the leak was a mission.
well, what does that mean? And he said,
It's not like these plans that we're living through didn't exist 20 years ago. We're going through a playbook written before I was born.
well, we're going to do, and he listed these 10 techniques, waterboarding and sleep deprivation and, smack in the face and all these different kinds of things. I said, that sounds like a torture program to me. And he goes, no, it's not torture. The president approved it and the Justice Department approved it, and we're going to start on it. I said, I don't know. I think I have a problem with that. Let me think about it for an hour. So
Hold on, I'm going to skip to more interesting parts.
roll up a towel and put in.
Another one was something called the cold cell, where they strip the prisoner naked. They chain you to an eye bolt in the ceiling so that you can't sit or lay or get comfortable in any way. They chill your cell to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And then every hour, somebody goes in and throws a bucket of ice water on you. We murdered 2 prisoners with that technique. That was never approved as a technique. So we did all kinds of stuff. There was another thing.
By the way, people are dying in the concentration camps in record numbers. And they do stuff like this too. And they also are raping and killing children in these camps as well, just so you know.
A technique that was considered to be kind of a mild, no big deal kind of thing called walling, where they roll up a towel and put it around your neck, and then they shove you into a wall, right? Well, the wall, it's a, what do you call it, fiberboard? Piece of plywood, whatever. There's a little bit of give, and they have the towel so that you don't get whiplash. But they never used a towel. They never used anything around the neck. And it wasn't a plywood wall. It was a concrete block wall. And now we have, for example, Mohammed Attar, the nephew of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who was slammed so mercilessly.
No, yeah, torture never works. It's more likely, you'll get false confessions, you'll get lies. It never works. Anyone who's actually trying to keep a secret won't break under that. They will lie. By the way, I dated a U.S. military enhanced interrogator, who was a psychotic piece of shit. So I kind of know firsthand experience some of this stuff. Yeah, it's not gonna, it doesn't actually provide information. What provides information is rapport.
Against the wall, that he's now brain damaged to the point where he can't participate in his own defense. Mm-hmm. They gave him permanent lifelong brain damage. Where does it say you were authorized to do that?
This has
So
always
it really
been
was
America.
a slippery slope, and nobody was ever punished. Nobody will ever be called to account. Just recently, we're filming this in
You see how him running as the VP
All they would have
with Tucker
was supposed to be some
Carlson could be a massive fucking problem that I can't think of a way we could get around. Like, I don't know who could beat Carlson Kiriakou 28. I don't know. There's nobody I can think of. Nobody who has the legal ability to run. You need someone who's capable of debate, capable of being funny, who has a good vibe. You need someone like Hassan or me, like with this vibe, this level of energy, to fight that. Like, you need to be on the offense in this situation. If you are running as the opposite candidate to Tucker Carlson and John Kiriakou, your strategy needs to be offense, not defense. And we don't really have anybody for that. I mean, there's no way to know the guy. You actually have the info you need. You beat him up all you want. He doesn't tell you what he doesn't know. That's also true. I don't even think Hassan could beat Tucker in a national debate. In a debate, I think Hassan could annihilate Tucker Carlson. I think anyone could. Have you watched Putin fuck with him for 3 hours? It was very funny. Putin made fun of Tucker Carlson on Russian state media. He was like, I know you tried to join the CIA and you weren't good enough. Don't feel too bad, though.
Sort of Pavlovian conditioning, where just the feel of the towel going around the neck.
Much of it was supposed to be Pavlovian. Yes. They called it learned helplessness. That's what it was. Learned helplessness. So all they would have to do is roll up the towel and the prisoner would just crumple.
Yeah. So I guess it's worth just giving some context to the listener as to why these things were even done in the first place.
Jet, notice how he passes himself off as nothing but a passive observer? There's literally a clip of someone saying, have you killed anybody? And him saying that he's never directly killed anybody, but he did give coordinates for something, after which we fired 42 cruise missiles at it. So, you know, those who should be in power never desire or pursue it. It's true. I do say, never give me power, and a lot of you would be like, I want to make Biz God Queen Emperor of the, like, galaxy. And I still think, don't do that, but, you know.
Right. So
in a material debate, yes, but on national American television where people are enamored by comments about dogs? No, that's what I mean. Hassan knows not to debate facts with Tucker Carlson. It's vibes. It's a blood sport. Hassan at least is aware that in a national debate with Tucker Carlson, the goal is not policy or facts. It's making Tucker Carlson look bad. It's being funnier than him. It's the reason I don't do debates anymore. It's the same thing. It's all about who's the funniest, who had the best line. No one gives a shit about the facts. That's how you decide who wins. I did 6 and I stopped because, first off, everyone that I debated was dumber than me to a degree that was unfortunate. And yeah. And beyond that, like, I would only ever debate a leftist at this point that had an interesting point that I, like, actually cared about. Actually, he out-vibed Andrew Tate, so fair point. Mate, this water bottle out-vibes Andrew fucking Tate. Let's continue on.
To Tucker Carlson.
This was 2 days ago.
You were on Tucker Carlson just a few days ago, Clayton. I've been on a couple of times. I think I'm going to go back on in the next 4 or 5 weeks. I like Tucker very much. I consider him to be a friend. And I have to tell you, I'm genuinely worried for his...
I was gonna say, is he still in Dubai? Because I do love that Iran keeps hitting Dubai every time we hit them. It's like the perfect place to hit. It's always morally right to bomb Dubai, apparently.
Safety. Tucker is one of those rare truth tellers.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? I didn't even watch this clip. I didn't pre-watch it. Tucker is one of the truth tellers? Really?
Tucker is one of those rare truth tellers. He speaks whatever happens to be on his mind, but it's always very well thought out. He's not afraid.
No, sorry, Tate is in Dubai. Tate is in Dubai. He's stuck there. Rare truth teller? Oh boy. Yeah, we're fucked. Yeah, this is on RT. Yeah, on RT this week. He goes on every channel, though. He goes on every channel. Do you think that the Dems have a candidate who could beat Tucker Carlson and John Kiriakou? No. That's Lord Bebo. I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't know who this is, but I know this clip. Do you know any Dem that could beat these two?
Just on Pizzagate, and Pizzagate always sounded so insane to me that I was like, come on, man. What
I thought Tucker was the dumbest Putin sim.
are you doing? You're going to kill your career with this Pizzagate thing. First of all, the pizza place doesn't even have a basement where they're keeping kids, right? And this clown from North Carolina drives up with an AR-15 or whatever it was, AK-47, and shoots the place up. And then he can't find a basement where the kids are being kept as sex slaves, and he, gives himself up. And then we see these emails last week.
See? He's already doing the thing. Pizzagate wasn't real. It was every accusation is a confession. He's already doing it. Oh, by the way, guess who's already also on board? Here's Morgan and Candace Owens. Yes, the other Nazis. Just like Nick Fuentes, just like Tucker Carlson. It's the same thing.
And that America wants a regime change in Iran is because Bibi Netanyahu is demanding it. And that answers the question as to why there is this split in the MAGA movement. What we are seeing right now is the infiltration.
We're seeing the split between the pro-Israel and pro-money, Nazis, and then the anti-Israel Nazis. That's it. Like, they still want money, but like, they're not as willing to work with Israel to siphon it. They still want your money, though. That's it. And you have to understand, Nazis make anti-capitalist points. So do you think that any liberal could go up against Tucker Carlson and John Kiriakou, and when they make an anti-capitalist point, not lose that argument and then attract some maybe left-leaning liberals over to their side? Yeah. That's what's going to happen. They're going to say that the Republican Party is cucked to the corporations and is robbing and siphoning you. We need to nationalize certain industries. They will make arguments that sound like ours, and we will not have a candidate that is a liberal that will be able to counter that. That's just not going to happen. We don't have one. Jon Stewart could not counter that. He's the only one that I can think of who has the riz, the vibe, and is funny enough to go up against Tucker Carlson. Period. There's nobody else. AOC would lose. Who would win this? Please tell me who would win.
Of Israel first people, the neocons, people who have always wanted never-ending wars, and the people who have recognized that following Israel's foreign policy initiatives has led.
Al Franklin? Oh, by the way, if you don't know who Abu Zubaydah is, have his Wikipedia a quick read. It's quite interesting. He was a Palestinian that born in Saudi Arabia, currently held in the U.S. by in Guantanamo detention camp in Cuba. Oh, Cuba. By the way, we're gonna invade Cuba soon. I almost forgot. In about a month or two, we're gonna invade Cuba. It's gonna be closer to a Venezuela type thing because Cuba's kind of already fallen. Just on the issue of we've been blocking fuel, and yeah, no, Cuba's fallen. So.
And breaking news into CNN, Cuba's electrical grid has suffered a complete and total collapse. This is according to the country's power operator. It's the first nationwide blackout since the U.S. effectively shut off the flow of oil to Cuba.
Yep, we did that. Carlson's preppy background would probably sink him. He doesn't have the reality show bona fides for Trump. He was a Fox News host. Wouldn't make a difference. Not sure how we legally got away with just blocking fuel for a country for like 6 months, but I guess there is no fucking law. What are you, a liberal? Law? No, we're gonna annex it.
I was just with a fantastic.
This is from today.
Person who's Cuban and made a fortune in sugar. You know, Fanjul family, right? And this family wants to go back to Cuba to visit it. They haven't been back in like 50 years or something. They largely come from Cuba. And we'll see what happens. They were asking me about that. They want to go back. Not only Van Hool, a lot of Cubans have said, "Oh boy, would they love to go back." I think Cuba, you know, is in its own way, if you know, tourism and everything else, it's a beautiful island, great weather. They're not in a hurricane zone, which is nice for a change. You know, they won't be asking us for money for hurricanes every week. But I think Cuba's the end. You know, all my life I've been hearing about the United States and Cuba. You know, when will the United States do it? I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation right now. They were for a long time. A very violent.
Remember, this is the dude last week who said that there might not be anyone left to say I surrender in Iran by the time we're done with them. Like, yeah, guys, we're fucked. Here's Hegseth, by the way, just openly saying, like, I can't wait until Larry Ellison owns CNN, so you people shut the fuck up.
They're confused.
Trump has full-blown dementia. Jesus, no, he doesn't. It's not. I mean, he has dementia. It's just not. He's not demented. There, he's pretty coherent. He's holding on to his desk for dear life. It's probably because he's shaking a little bit. But here's Hegseth just saying, I can't wait until the Ellisons own you.
Our response, we will keep pressing. We will keep pushing, keep advancing. No quarter, no mercy for our enemies. Yet some in this crew, in the press, just can't stop. Allow me to make a few suggestions. People look up at the TV and they see banners, they see headlines. I used to be in that business, and I know that everything is written intentionally. For example, a banner or a headline, Mideast war intensifies, splashing on the screen the last couple of days, alongside visuals of civilian or...
Hybrid heathen, it shocks me how bothered these people get by CNN of all people. It's because Nazis and fascists not only want to do all the things they do, not only do they want to take, they want you to thank them for it. They want you to be happy that they're doing it. They don't like any criticism. The mildest like CNN is the beginning. They gotta take out the easy ones first. Those are the easy ones. Then they come for us.
Energy targets that Iran has hit.
Not to say they're not already coming for us. They are.
Because that's what they do. What should the banner read instead? How about Iran increasingly desperate? Because they are. They know it, and so do you, if it can be admitted. Or more fake news.
Desperate, he says, by the way. Just, oh, that's not the one. I wanted the clip of, the foreign minister saying that they can't wait for the ground invasion. By the way, here's what they wrote on a missile. I don't know if this is real, but I believe it's real because it's funny. Vaccine for pedophiles, made for Iran. Made in Iran. Trump and his admin are a mixture of mental retardation unknown in all medical history. No. These people are there for a specific purpose. These are the people whose job it is to destroy the institutions. Their job is to be this, to set up for the next dude who's gonna be the actual Führer. That's their job. All right, hold on, back to Hegseth.
From CNN reports that the Trump administration underestimated the Iran war's impact on the Strait of Hormuz. Patently
Trump
ridiculous.
Literally said this.
Of course, for decades, Iran has threatened shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. This is always what they do, hold the strait hostage.
By the way, the mixed messaging is intentional. There's a reason why the president says one thing and this guy says the other thing. That's why you see posts from like the White House saying the war's already almost over. And then you have the Department of War saying we're just getting started. It's on purpose. They want to build this cognitive dissonance in you so that you can't tell what's real and what's not, and so you stop giving a shit.
CNN doesn't think we thought of that. It's a fundamentally unserious report.
The president said that they didn't think of that.
The sooner David Ellison takes over that network, the better. They're
just straight up. Oh, by the way, if the war's going so well for us, how come British tourists among 20 who are charged in Dubai over videos of Iranian missile strikes? UAE cybercrime law means sharing images or footage of war can bring jail or prison time or deportation. This is the same law in Israel, by the way. If you take a video of a missile landing and you share it, then you are going to jail. That's a thing that literally Israel does to try and hide the damage, which is why, like, we don't have great data on it, but I mean, like, it's pretty bad. We know that Israel's getting hit hard because the Iron Dome is gone. But let's have a look at Dubai, because I think Dubai airport's gone, which is fantastic. Fuck Dubai. I think the airport just looks gone. By the way, like, you guys gotta understand that most of Trump's, like, buddies and his friends, and they have their banking in the Gulf states. They hold most of their assets and their money overseas in Qatar, in the UAE. And hitting those countries is hurting them and their bank accounts. I like Russia burning more, but this is acceptable. Me too. Unfortunately, now I'm supporting the side that... We're in a World War I situation, literally. Like, I'm pro-Iran winning, but so is Russia, but I'm pro-Ukraine making Russia Ukraine again. So, yeah, again, two massive regional wars that include global superpowers have now intertwined in the Middle East officially. Ukraine has sent specialists and drone interceptors to the American side to help. Russia is sending shit to the Iranian side to help. So is China. This is officially a world war. The scale of the fire in Dubai's international fuel storage area. I'm okay with both sides losing in Iran-US. Me too. Like, that's the thing. I want America to lose in Iran, but I don't want Russia to win in Iran. And we've just given Russia a lot of money. We lifted sanctions on them, and because... what's crude oil today? Crude oil futures. Let's have a look. What is it today? Because of oil prices going up, they have a lot more money. Oh, great. Yeah, we're at 102 for Brent, which is the international standard for crude oil. Just so you guys know, if this hits 150 and it stays there for a month, every industry in the world shuts down because nothing can afford that level of... If we would have 1 month to get that down from 150 before everything shuts down. Just so you understand.
Oh my god,
Yeah, the Russians are very happy about this. It saved their oil prices. They have their sanctions lifted. So one drone did that? Yeah, it did. One drone did that. One. If there was a button to get it down, do you think that they would push it? No, I don't. Because they want the economy fucked. I said this a long time ago. We saw even in Davos, right? They want to... Okay. Currently, the globe runs on the petrodollar. Even though the petrodollar is kind of dying, right? It runs on it. If you want to change the commodity system of the globe, which we know they do, they want to use crypto as the main currency on the planet, right? If you want to create massive economic change, the only way to do that without pissing everyone off is in a bad economy. So then you come in, and then you say, wait, hold on, I have an idea. And then cryptoify the economy, which fucks you forever. Forever. So first and foremost, by having this war, we're seeing oil prices go up dramatically. We're seeing the inability to, look at this headline. According to CNN, citing a senior Iranian official, Iran is now mulling the possibility of letting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz only if the oil on board is traded in Chinese yuan. The majority of international oil trades are done in the dollar. We want to destroy the dollar. We've known from the beginning of the presidency that they want to weaken the dollar. The dollar is down over 12% when compared to gold since last year. Over 12%. They want the dollar to go down so they can replace it with crypto. Here is at Davos, the fucking fools talking about tokenization. Davos. It was Larry Fink said it. Yeah, Larry Fink said this at Davos. Is there a short? Do I have to find like the... I mean, look, just Ripple at Davos 2026. Is tokenization the future? Larry Fink, capitalism has failed. Tokenization the future of money. Where are we on stable coins? This is the plan. So to destroy the dollar, you have to fight a war in the Middle East, which fucks oil prices, so that you can't base money off of that. There is nothing money about crypto, well, unless it's Monero. Monero is money. Monero is the only crypto that's not traded as a speculative commodity. In fact, I highly recommend you get it. There's a reason why both intelligence agencies and criminal enterprises use Monero, because it's the only actual secure currency. It's legal to buy. Now, if you buy Monero with fiat currency, that's a paper trail. But if you buy Monero with fiat currency, then trade it to someone else for their Monero, then that's gone. Or you can buy Bitcoin with fiat currency and trade that Bitcoin for Monero, and then you have released that, paper trail as well. But Monero is very different, because it's not, you can't invest in Monero as a commodity. You can't, rug pull people. It's actual currency. And that's the difference with Monero. Now, they want to make crypto like Monero, except not secure. There's a reason Monero is called the crime coin. Not necessarily just used for crime. They want you to think that so they can outlaw it. Intelligence agencies use it all the time. But they want something like Monero for the general public to be the actual currency. This has been the plan. Since 2 years ago, I've been talking about this. They've been talking about this. That's always been the plan. And the way to do that is, fuck oil prices. For one. And look at this. The Gulf states reassess relationship with the U.S. and seek to diversify foreign partnerships, which is a big deal. That's the whole thing. They're destroying the existing foundational system. And by the way, this is the source for what I said earlier. Hold on. Don't let it come up. Okay. Largest U.S. military hospital abroad halts labor and delivery services amid Iran war. This is Landstuhl in Germany. This never happened during Iraq and Afghanistan. How many injured do we actually have if they have to shut down labor and delivery at the largest U.S. military hospital outside of the United States? We have a lot more wounded and a lot more casualties. Why are they hiring new people to look through the fucking personal effects of dead soldiers? Why is America demanding that Planet Labs not release satellite footage for 14 days? Yeah, no, it's not good. Here's a fucking general saying we don't have enough ammo to win this war, because the point isn't to win. Literally, Hegseth, Rubio, where's the fucking ammo? That's where we're at. Here's the fucking 110 complaints from 40 units in 30 different locations, receiving similar briefings from officers saying that Trump is God's anointed knight working to bring about Armageddon. That's where we're here. Oh, By the way, like, MAGA fully believes the apocalypse is happening again this year. People think this all the fucking time. Beginning of time, this has existed, but like, they're actively trying to make it happen.
Absolutely ties into the war in Iran, which is why I'm bringing it up.
In 2026, at Easter, what will happen? The star will, the alignment she told me about, that the star of Regulus would be on the horizon in front of the Sphinx at that moment.
Like, it doesn't matter. These people are fucking stupid. MAGA man humiliated after being duped. Men humiliated after being duped by AI foot fetish model. Like, 1 million followers that made a bunch of money. An entirely fake AI person. There was tons of right-wing men that were fooled by this. Damn, Sunni MAGA needs a Shia revolution. I vote for Ayatollah Mamdani. Like, these are the people. You think they're intelligent? Oh, by the way, not only did I not know Tim Tebow was this based, but this is fucking insane.
Maps is a unique IP address that is downloaded, shared.
We got here.
Every one of those red dot maps is a
Yeah, the former quarterback.
unique IP address that is downloaded, shared, or distributing child rape images, almost all under the age of 12. And that's just a 6-month screenshot of it. And there are over 338,000 on there. There's blue dots on there. You can't really see them, but the blue ones are the ones that are under investigation.
Yes, that Tim Tebow hybrid heathen. I had no fucking clue. Sheesh? Yeah. By the way, like, the blue dot, like, hold on. I can count the blue dots. We got, I'll say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's say 25. I'll be generous. Let's say there's 5 there. And let's say that's 4, 5, so 30, 32. Let's say 37, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. 48 on this map. I literally counted. Comedian Ron White is accurate, has an accurate bit about stupidity. Unfortunately, it's a forever condition. Yikes, I honestly had no idea this pedo stuff was this popular. Alexander, you live in Australia, don't you? You do realize per capita, Australia is the largest consumer of child rape images? Because, like, yeah, because of the population density. Australia, #1 in CSAM. Pretty bad.
So yesterday I stitched a video talking about Tory Woods.
Wait, hold on. I'll get it on YouTube. I didn't know that either. Yeah, I wish I didn't, but yeah. So we have, let me get the numbers. Video I saw earlier. I'm just trying to find the right one because I don't have the numbers right off the top of my head. God damn it. Countries consuming CSAM. Find me a list. Okay. Statista, thank you. Countries with the most CSAM reports in 2022. So, because of the amount of people that live in Australia, so like in 2022, 64.5%. I really should have not have brought this up before finding the numbers. I'll actually find the numbers for you next time. But essentially, we have like we're on the list of top consumers. We're not number one. America is number one in consumption of child sexual abuse material. However, because we only have 27 million people in this country, if you do it per capita, it's a massive amount. We shoot up to number one dramatically. Let me see if I search USA. Okay, I found the Australian government on criminology. Based on online appeal survey of 13,302 adults, this study examines the common demographic characteristics, blah, 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 fuck off. Overall, 0.8% of those surveyed reported that they had intentionally viewed CSAM in the past year, somewhat lower than previous entries, which have ranged from 2.2 to 4.6%. Again, when you make that per capita, there's something wrong with y'all. There's something wrong with a lot of people. A lot of fucking people. Like, there's so much of this. It's really bad. So much of it. It's so bad.
The number one offender type is biological fathers, but by far it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like,
you guys gotta understand that, like, we live in a culture that was built by the Epstein class. Everything that we do, they planned. They, like, the stores that you shopped at as a kid, the like type of clothing, the music that was playing, the ads, all of it, everything was built on pedophilia.
they're technical savvy, and I think that it is time that we call them out, like that. We can't stand by and stand back. Like, we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing.
I like Knitting Cult Lady, but I dislike her takes because she's incapable. She still has the brainwashing from her time in the military that she, like, still underestimates just how bad it is. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to read this because I don't talk about ICE anymore because I've warned everyone for about a year and a half and I'm tired of it. But March 13th, 2026, guards at Alligator Auschwitz are now wearing Grim Reaper patches, says report. That sounds lovely. I'm sure that there's a really good reason for them to be wearing Grim Reaper patches. I didn't mention this. I should. This is quite important. I knew that there was a few things that I needed to talk about today besides, Matrix. Trans people, you're fucked. According to Kavanaugh's concurrence in that decision, the rationale extends to any, quote, reasonable suspicion based on specific articulable facts that the person being questioned is an illegal alien in the United States. As such, ICE was effectively also permitted to use the fact that someone looks trans, regardless of whether or not they actually are, as a specific articulable fact, allowing its officers to question, harass, and detain, even deport both citizens and non-citizens, as long as it has a reason to claim that being trans makes a person more likely to be in the United States illegally. Thus, ICE is now free to scrutinize trans people's documents, detain those who show documents with any inconsistencies, and a heightened risk of sexual violence now that ICE has removed protections for trans people in its custody, and additionally have their medications withheld. So, yeah, they are allowing ICE to hunt trans people now. We're doing Nazi shit. We've been doing Nazi shit. What do you think? ICE agents now have enforceable rationale to assert that trans people, especially those belonging to racial minority groups, are more likely than cis people to have, quote, misrepresented themselves during the visa process and thus are more likely to have entered the country unlawfully. Trans equals more likely being an illegal immigrant. That makes literally zero sense. Doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to. It doesn't need to. Unfortunately. here's a good Substack article on it. Give it a read. Share that with your fucking friends. But here's the actual Federal Register saying it. It's in this. Visas enhancing vetting and combating fraud in the diversity immigrant visa program. They put it in here. So they have the legal right to fuck with you just for being trans now. I don't have anything good to say on this. I'm sorry. I have nothing positive for you. Get the fuck out of the country. I have nothing good to say, unfortunately. I don't have anything.
Effective April 11th, ICE agents... Effective April 11th, ICE agents will be allowed to start detaining individuals whom they believe to be trans based on their appearance. Like, literally that. If they don't think that you look cis...
I thought this was fake when I first saw it too. Like,
they can detain you, and I thought that was fake because a video with only 700 likes came across my For You page, and I went online, and the federalreserve.gov website, like the literal government website, confirms this is going into effect. And like I said, the video has 700 likes, so I'm not going to say that no one's talking about this. I'm going to say that people are not being allowed to spread this information, but the canaries have been sounding in the fucking coal mines forever, whether it is trans people, people of color, disabled individuals, or sex workers. Every single, like, maximally marginalized group in this bitch has been saying that, like, what you allow to happen to one is going to spread to others, and by the time it gets home to you, like, by the time the like fucking hen comes home to roost, like, there's not going to be anyone.
yeah. Okay, stop. Jesus Christ, I hate TikTok so fucking much. I thought it was fake, so I went and looked it up, and I saw it. I read it. It's not fake. Unfortunately, it ain't fake. Not fake. Look, I have a fun video that we can listen to. Like, it's both media, it's critical thinking analysis. I like it. It's a long video. If you guys get bored, let me know. But I haven't watched it, and I am very curious. Based on the title, The Sopranos, the show, as an allegory for the collapse of the American empire. Which, having watched The Sopranos, I can kind of see, but I kind of want to understand his point.
In 2015, I won an essay contest in which I argued that the most influential TV shows of the 20th and 21st century were The Wire and The Sopranos. To me, both...
If you've never seen The Sopranos, you should. It's fucking fantastic.
The way The Sopranos begins. It begins with a monologue from Tony, and where he discusses the fact that he came in.
Once the Matrix server's set up, we can watch it there. I'm streaming it locally on my server. It's not public, like, I can't get in trouble for copyright. It's like I'm watching it at home with my friends.
Too late to get on the ground floor of something in the United States. He's, of course, talking about his late arrival to the mafia, right? He grew up too late. He was born too late in the game. By the time Tony rises to power in the New Jersey mob, the mob is already on its way out the door. And it's the reason that the mob is on its way out the door that is a reflection of the increasing problems of late-stage capitalism. I think the clearest example of this is when Polly Walnuts and Big Pussy Bumpin' Sarah try to shake down the Starbucks in their neighborhood.
So these are all, like, the names are fantastic. They're members of the mob. So this bronze great. I think a lot of viewers kind of missed the point. Kinda. A lot of them did, yeah. So, like, if you've never seen The Sopranos, one thing you need to understand is that a giant portion of the show is the Don of the New Jersey Mafia, Tony Soprano, going to therapy and talking with a therapist. That's, like, key and integral throughout the entire show, is his therapy sessions. Polly Walnuts, yeah. Big Pussy Bumpin' Sarah, my favorite. Literally, there's a line, nobody touches my pussy.
This is an example of how the global expansion of politics has created a local alienation within the United States, right? Polly and Pussy both try to shake down this Starbucks, to which the manager of the Starbucks says, look, man, you can't shake me down. They'll just replace me. I'm not useful to them. I'm just one moving part in a series of moving parts. If I start paying you protection money, they'll just pull me out of my position, put somebody in who will not be amenable to your shakedowns. And then they'll get police involved. It just won't work. And Polly and Pussy both lament the idea that
Nah, I lived in North Jersey. They're in Lyndhurst, I believe. I know where I've been to where most of The Sopranos takes place. It wasn't far from where I grew up, but like I think different county. I'm not actually sure. Angel cut up.
they are so detached from their community and their community is so alienated from them that they can no longer engage in what they see as a foundational practice to the institution of the American mob, and the American mob as a foundational institution of the American dream, right?
No, never mind. Lyndhurst is in my county, so yes, The Sopranos takes place in my part of Jersey.
The idea that these Italian immigrants can come over from, Italy and Sicily and make a way for themselves playing against the grain of capitalism. They view themselves as another side of the same coin that the FBI is on, right? That there is this fundamental game that is being played that is part of the American.
You think I'm in the mob, Silas? I mean, to be fair, if I was, I wouldn't tell you, but, you know.
Tradition, but that game is now being destroyed by this increasingly globalized infrastructure. That is why by the time that 9/11 happens and Agent Harris and Tony find themselves no longer at odds with one another because the problems of the FBI, the problems of the nation have become global. And a local institution like the American mob no longer registers on the radar of the American police, the American FBI, because they have bigger.
In fact, it's around this time in which Donald Trump became far more affiliated with the Italian mob. He was affiliated with the Russian mob throughout the 80s and the 90s. He was affiliated with the Italian mob in the 90s too. But right now, the people running the country are the Russian and Italian mob. That's how Trump became who he is. His name was Teflon Don because he worked with the mob fucking regularly. He would be getting deliveries of meth and Xanax at the club by mobsters. There's photos of it. Like, yeah. Mafia is a fraternal organization that don't allow women into their ranks. Not all of them. In fact, like, in the show, like, Tony travels to Italy to meet, like, the Don of a different mafia there, like, in Italy. And the Don is a woman. And he's surprised about it. And she's fucking scary and based.
To fry. We are becoming an increasingly globalized entity, focusing too much on what's going on in the world abroad, leaving American institutions, in this case, ironically, the American mob, to deteriorate. So essentially, The Sopranos uses the decline of the American mafia.
Rod Delicious, you're missing one. All empires fall because of three things: arrogance, stupidity, and the third thing is, fuck, I had it and I lost it. Just like continuing to go with the flow, like not changing things. God, I had the word. Fuck me. Scary and base, just like this. To be fair, I think I would be pretty decent as like the Don of a mob. Too bad, I'll never be. Conformity? No, it's. I hate when this happens. Stagnation, kind of. Complacency. Thank you, Glitchmaster. That was the one. And complacency. Stupidity, arrogance, and complacency. Alex Gallagher. Gotta pay me for that one. Thanks, Oxpecker. You too.
As an allegory for the human cost of late-stage global capitalism. Through Tony's sense of historical belatedness to the scene, right? His arrival late in the game, and scenes like the failed Starbucks shakedown, David Chase argues that older institutions built on local loyalty, personal coercion, and stable social hierarchies within local networks are hollowed out by an economic order defined by this sort of abstraction, replaceability, and alienation. And you can see Tony dealing with this frustration in therapy, right? There is a lot of discourse around race in his conversation.
No, complacency doesn't fall under stupidity. It falls under, like, it's not laziness, but it's like a casual lack of concern. Because you expect the thing to continue going forward, and it normally does. Like, this is it's the same thing that causes, God damn it, I am having a lot of brain farts today. Normalcy bias. It's the same. Complacency comes from normalcy bias. Things are normal and things will stay normal. That's like a thing most people do. Like, a lot of people I respect keep doing that too. It pisses me off.
Conversations with Melfi. For example, he recognizes that there is a difference between him.
I don't believe that laziness exists, Jetman, by the way. Like, it's a cross Venn diagram with stupidity, complacency, and arrogance, but I don't believe in laziness as a thing. I think people who we call lazy just don't want to do the fucking thing. They want to do something else. The U.S. has grown complacency, yeah, because we expect it to remain the global superpower forever. And now we're tearing it down because we know that that's not going to be the term. Laziness is just a negative term for efficiency. Basically, yeah. I don't believe in laziness. YouTube says BB is dead. Don't believe everything you see on YouTube, but he might die. He has cancer. It doesn't matter if he dies. If he dies, the next guy is probably worse. Certified garbage. Imagine if it was Ben Gavir. Or the guy who's talking about, we should just bomb Al-Aqsa Mosque and blame Iran for it.
Racially, and his neighbor, Dr. Cusimano. He calls Dr. Cusimano a white guy, right? Which then implies that Tony doesn't necessarily see himself as white. He sees himself as Italian, meaning he's connecting to this old world system that dehumanized Italians during migration of the potato famine, right?
Okay, Kim Iverson is a right-winger, first of all. This is from the Nazi side of YouTube. Like, these are the people that would vote Tucker Carlson.
Right, the potato blight in the mid-19th century. And he's connecting to this because his experience is vastly different from the experiences of the so-called, quote-unquote, white guys. Like,
well, like, I mean, I can kind of relate to this as well, because I was an immigrant to the United States. I came into the country when I was like 5. My dad worked as a taxi driver for a while before he started his own business. And when I was growing up, like, my dad was able to start a business by being a taxi. This was like 2000s, like, it was already bad. But he was able to build a business enough that he still has it, raise me, and like still be immigrant where I was born in Turkey. App crashed? No, I froze it. I immigrated from Turkey to the United States. But like, my parents were able to build that. And I didn't think that I'd be able to. Growing up, that all of that just like dissolved before my very eyes. Now, funny enough, I actually came to Australia with nothing but the clothes on my back, a backpack which had a laptop, half a carton of cigarettes. And that's it. Because they lost my luggage on the way, and so I didn't have luggage when I arrived. I didn't realize that Australia only lets you bring 20 cigarettes into the country. I thought it was 20 packs of cigarettes. So at the gate, I was like, listen, I bought this carton. I thought it was 20 this, and they're like, here. They took 4 out of the carton and let me leave with 6. Very, very nice of them. And then they gave me $160 and said, here, like, here's some money. We're gonna mail your like luggage to you when it gets here. It took like 3 or 4 days for my luggage to get there, but I came to this I get to say this for the rest of my life. I came to this country with nothing but the clothes on my back, a backpack with half a carton of cigarettes, and a laptop. And I've spent 2 years working for free doing this. So, you know, I guess maybe the Australian dream. To be fair, I wouldn't be able to do this without the help from you guys donating to me, as well as my family, who does believe that like what I do is important and so helps me out. But that's not a forever thing. Isn't the #1 product at the duty-free shop cartons of cigarettes? Yes, Australia is really fucked with cigarettes. They don't let you bring more than 20 in, and like a pack of Marlboro Lights here is $67. So just so you know, like 20 cigarettes, $67. We have a huge issue with people selling cigarettes under the counter, like people selling them for cheap. In fact, like, to be honest, I'll get mine like that most of the time. It's $15 instead of $67. Yes, they tax it heavily, and then that money goes to Medicare. Alcohol too. Hold on. Give me like a bottle of alcohol and the price that one of you know in America. What the fuck are you door dashing them with 25% tip? We don't tip because they're paid that like Jack Daniels. All right, how much is a bottle of Jack Daniels? 700 mils in the United States. Is this gonna cost me? Not YouTube. Because here, Jack Daniels whiskey, 700 mil, is 68 Australian dollars. So USD to AUD, 68, it's 48 US dollars. Did you stop cigs? I changed to vapes. I honestly smoke cigs to stop vaping. Because every time you vape, you inhale like lead and shit. These are horrible. I'm trying to quit vaping by switching to smoking, but life has made it impossible for me to quit, considering like the amount of stress that I have. But yeah, so $48 for a bottle of Jack Daniels, US dollars, because of the exchange rate. But here it'd be 68. I got 1 Vice left. I mean, I kind of have 2. I do sell spicy stuff. Like, if you want it, let me know. I'm gonna put more like information on that once the Matrix is built. I'm kind of liking that, really. It's funny. I recorded like an audio file that's supposed to be like an induction hypnosis thing, and it's like just supposed to get you calm and relaxed. But like I kind of liked it. It was fun recording. That one I'm gonna release for free, so like anyone who wants it will be able to get it. I'm gonna put that all over fucking Reddit. Got past vapes, past snow, working on alcohol now. Well, I mean, if you want to stop drinking, you could move to Australia, where it's so fucking expensive. What's a pack of I don't know. What's a beer that they drink in Australia? I don't like alcohol, so I don't know. A VB, a pack of VBs. 6-pack of VB. A 6-pack of Victorian bitters. $25. Foster's? Foster's beer. I'd show you, but like Google will dox me. Australia. Do they even have the fuck? Yeah, and Murphy's. Show me the fucking price. Yeah, okay. 24 case of Foster's is $60. No one knows what VB is. True. Only the most bogan of Australians know what VB is. American whiskey is shit. The cheapest is Irish or Scottish, way better. It's true. Alcohol almost killed me, injury thing. Well, at least I stopped that. What's that? I mean, that's good. Stop, drinking. But no, as a social substance user, so as long as I'm not in the environment, I'm good. Like, I also will socially use substances. It's fine. So vitamin B. Yeah, no, it's Victorian bitters, the most bogan of Australian beer. Fun fact: Australians do not, in fact, drink Foster's as much as the ads would like you to believe. Yeah, that's the one we export. Like, when I put Foster's into Google, it didn't automatically give me the liquor store prices, which it does for everything else. Oh my goodness, thank you, Ethan, for the $10. I really appreciate it. Hell yeah. That's what we call VB here in Victoria, vitamin B. Oh my god, of course you do. Of course you do. Oh, speaking of Australia, I never actually got to finish talking about that. Y'all, we're fucked. Let's finish the Sopranos thing, and then I'll jump to Australia.
Dr. Cusimano, who are able to seamlessly blend into American whiteness and American tradition, right? This is Tony lamenting the sort of Faust.
What's the culture of hard drugs around there, then? I believe that my state, specifically, is the methamphetamine capital of the world.
Bargain of white working class politics. He has never fully thought of himself as white. He has never been seen necessarily as white because of his refusal to drop some of the more overt aspects of Italian culture in the interest of blending into the sort of old stock Protestant white ideals. He's also lamenting the decline of American masculinity because now white masculinity is not getting him the same things that got his father, right? He's not able to...
This analysis is one-to-one exact, by the way. Shuvapu, for people who chew tobacco, that is probably a thing. People use this a lot more now, which are like... I've only used this a couple times, but like it's like... It's meant to work like chewing tobacco without having to chew tobacco. It's like a little pout, yeah, zins. But they're illegal here. By the way, did you know that these are illegal in Australia? Like, not possession, but the sale of these vapes. They're entirely illegal. Nicotine and non-nicotine vapes are illegal in Australia without a prescription. Because if the prices go neck and neck with cigarettes, and it sounds like a practical measure way to get fucked up, I believe that meth is cheaper than cigarettes. And alcohol. But I also think that's the same in America. Were you born in the US? If so, how did you end up in the Outback? I was born in Turkey, Rod Dickless. And I've lived on 4 continents. So, They can't sell nicotine vapes here either, but that's a county law. No, it's federal law. Federal law says that nicotine and non-nicotine vapes in Australia are illegal. Oh, sorry, you're not in Australia. My bad, Boku. Are illegal without a prescription to sell. But Rod Dicklicious, I lived in Montenegro, I lived in Turkey, I traveled a bit. I left the US like the middle of Trump 1, and then I just never came back. I came here because of an online friend who was just like, hey, come hang out at my house for like 3 months on a tourist visa, and I did. And then I met a woman who ended up being my partner for 5 years. I got engaged. I got citizenship through that. And then we broke up. So that's funny. In the Denver airport, boy, I met some older lady, and she's a photographer, kind of like you. Long ago, she traveled all over the world. I think she went to Australia with barely any money. Funny. Military family? No. Nope. My family still lives in the States. I was just me on my own. I had a lot of issues. Listen, I had a lot of issues growing up. I was a bit of a delinquent. I had a lot of mental health problems. Like, I didn't have any self-confidence. The person that you see before you today, imagine the direct inverse. That was me as a child. I became this person through being homeless, through being going... Like, I am unironically thankful for all of the abuse and trauma and struggles that I have faced because they have forged me into the person I am today. I spent like months living in my car. I've lived in many states in the US, like a lot of them. Both coasts, in the middle, not really much in the south. I haven't gone too far south, more than like North Carolina, but like I've been further south just driving, not living. But I don't know. I had the privilege of getting to leave. Now, initially I left because I had a drug problem. And leaving the country and away from the place where I did drugs was a good choice in stopping doing those drugs. And then once I was out there and not on drugs anymore, I wanted to leave Turkey because living in Turkey sucked. It was the first place I went. Just because it was cheap to go there with American money. It translated to a lot, so I didn't really need much to go to Turkey and just spend a couple like months there. Then I went and helped some woman start a pig farm in Montenegro. I'm not even fucking kidding. This woman needed an interpreter who spoke Turkish and English because they only speak Serbian and English in Montenegro, and she wanted a pig farm. And so I went with her to Montenegro, and I lived there for a couple months and worked as the interpreter. I went and found her property, workers. I needed to. Some of the workers didn't even fucking speak like English, so we had to like work with some of the workers who did to like explain things to the others. I needed their help to find good pigs because, again, I had to be the one talking to people, and if I'm going to be purchasing the livestock for this woman's farm, I need to know that they're good. I don't know fucking anything about this, so I'm asking the farmer that speaks broken English to ask the other farmers their opinion on, like, yeah, whatever. We got it done. And then I just came here. Your life is quite an adventure, Visora. Kinda, yeah. Pretty funny. I want to travel one day. Ireland, UK, Thailand. I would love to go to Ireland. I haven't been to Ireland. In Texas, I can get a pack of strikes for $8 or $9. Love that. Pretty impressed with your lore, Viz. Props to being who you are. Thank you. I mean, like, it's less about... I don't know about props. It's more so, things just happen in life. Your perception shapes your reality. You can't change what's happening around you, but you can change how you engage with it, how you view it, and how it affects you. Like, bad things happening to me, I can be sad about them. I can sit and, try and figure out a way out of them. I can, like, there's a lot of different ways to cope with bad things happening to you. A lot of people don't realize, though, that they can just, in their mind, decide to not care and move on. And it works. Like, it actually, your brain is a sack of meat with electricity running through it. It is a computer with very, 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 very weak antivirus software. You can trick your brain pretty easily. And so, like, just making the active decision of, you know what, this bad thing was a good thing. You know what, I don't care if people think that. When I started streaming, I literally expected only people to come in and troll me. I didn't care, I was going to do it anyway. My first few streams, I was streaming with no viewers. I just kept going because it doesn't matter. It literally did not. It's been, in my experience, folks who had some kind of right-word bend and then deconstruct that into leftism are the coolest people. Might be biased on my end because I had cringy centrist phase. To be fair, growing up, I did spend a lot of time on 4chan. There was a, like, if I was dumber and probably had, like, less trauma and less life experience, there's a good chance I could have been all rightoid, yeah. Like, I lived in a rich part of New Jersey. I lived near New York. I went to college a block away from Wall Street and did cocaine with Wall Street executives. So I could have very easily gone the other way. Streaming politics kind of like having a pig farm? You're not wrong. It's more like a cat farm. I feel like younger, less confident you was unintentionally funny in a sort of deadpan way. I mean, I was a class clown. I like one story that I really love to tell is this math teacher that I had in like sophomore year. She was really young, and it was on the 3rd floor of the building. You guys are cats, yes. I do feel like I'm hurting cats with chat. And she wasn't in the classroom, so I like stuck half my body out the window And I lowered the window enough, like I tested it a little bit, that if I actually slipped and fell, I'd be able to catch myself with my legs. And when she walked in the room, I let go and made it look like I was falling out the window and made this woman just run across the room and grab my legs. I was that kind of person. Fuck, whoever the CIA thought of spreading rumors that if you ask someone, are you a cop, that they have to say yes. Yeah, no. Cops lie to you all the time. I'm gonna stop being negative. You gotta stop thinking negatively. The way that you think literally changes the way that you see the world. The right do this all the time too, by the way. Like, you're like, this is here. I actually have a clip on this.
Are actually practicing.
Okay, so before we start this, I need you to understand, none of what they're talking about here is satanic. This is all pre-Christian shit. This is like the entire Epstein class, just preface for this video, was a group of people similar enough in size and scope and wealth and identical beliefs and practices to what caused Jesus Christ to create Christianity. Like, the whole point, stop eating babies, stop doing blood sacrifices, and stop hoarding wealth. So none of this is satanic, but watch the video.
Believe the elites are actually practicing magic? Yes, and so are you. You're just doing it badly because you don't know what you're doing. So I'm going to give you a lesson. Part 2. If you want to see part 1, you can find it pinned to the top of my profile. So lesson 2. Perspective changes everything. The world around you is made of stuff, right? Of tables and chairs, of owls and bears, of you and me, of poo and pee. Except if you change your perspective, you'll see that all of this stuff is actually made of the same stuff. It's actually all made of atoms, and there's no table atoms and chair atoms or you atoms and me atoms. The atoms are all elemental, right? Gold atoms, hydrogen atoms, helium atoms, iron atoms. Except if you change your perspective and look more closely, you'll see that the atoms are all made of the same stuff. They're made of nuclei, of protons and neutrons and electrons. And there's no hydrogen electrons or iron neutrons or gold protons. They're all just negatively or positively or neutrally electromagnetically.
We're gonna get into that, Glitchmaster. We have to talk about it. Yes, esotericism and spirit sciences leaned heavy into conservatism.
Charged. Now, each of these perspectives is true. The thing that varies is how useful
I don't know who this is, but I find this clip useful.
each perspective is depending on the situation that you're applying it to. Quantum entanglement suggesting that reality is non-local and the space between objects kind of doesn't exist is interesting. Unless you're planning a trip to the grocery store, in which case you have to travel from your house to the grocery store, regardless of what quantum entanglement theory might suggest. This perspective is not useful in those circumstances. And as we covered in part 1, the goal of the magician is to achieve understanding and mastery of reality. And since the reality that you experience takes part mostly in your head, that means that mastering reality and mastering yourself are the same thing.
That sentence is key. Understanding reality, not mastering reality, requires you to have mastery of your own self, of your own brain, your own perspective. You have to have like, mastery is the word for that. You have to have control of your brain for you to be able to control your perspective. The universe is not locally real does not mean actually that the universe isn't real. Yeah. The thing is, it's all situational.
Which includes the ability to consciously choose perspective, not necessarily based on what is most true, but what is most useful. By you,
the right do this fucking regularly.
Utilizing the power of cognitive dissonance, which is believing contradictory things at the same time. For instance, if you wish to become a more confident, competent, conscientious, and kind version of yourself, you can craft and visualize a very clear idea of what that version of yourself would be. Then through a process of ritualism or affirmation,
literally what he's saying is decide the type of person you want to be and then fake it till you make it. Before I started this show, like literally 2 years ago, in April, before I started the show, March of 2024, you would not have caught me dead in front of a camera. You would never catch me in a video. I didn't like taking photos. I was quiet. dismissive. I was negative, literally March 2024. And I just decided, nah, I'm done with that. And then I faked it for a couple days. Like, the first few days was kind of hard. I knew I was lying. I knew I cared. But then I kept mentally saying, and then it didn't matter. I stopped giving a shit. And now I am confident. No one can hurt my feelings. No one can. It's just impossible because I don't care enough. Mental discipline is necessary to accomplish for liberation as well. Yeah. Biz, I just realized your media plan embodies both definitions of CBT. That's very funny. Yes, you're not wrong. Also, kind of DBT. Dialectics is pretty huge. And yeah. If you fake it, you will eventually aren't going to make it. Well, not necessarily. If you fake it into believing it. Like, you have to believe it for it to be real. I faked not giving a shit about what other people think of me. And then I decided, actively, that that is true. Now, granted, I did do DMT and have my soul eaten by Cthulhu, and that did help quite a bit. But you can do a lot. Hell, if you're crying, like act like you're sad, right? Like something bad happened and you are ugly crying. Fake laughing can make you happier. Like the worst fake laugh. Like while you're crying will trigger dopamine and serotonin production in your brain and make you less sad. Your brain is a sack of meat with electricity running through it that is a shitty computer with no security. So that's what this is. Did you just say Cthulhu? Yes, I did DMT once, and it resulted in me... Okay, to be fair, I say Cthulhu, but that's because too many people haven't played Baldur's Gate 3. I was playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 before I did the DMT, and the end game of that is you fight, like, a mind flayer that's huge, looks like Cthulhu, like big elephant, like not elephant, like big tentacles and shit. Massive brain. I was just floating above a giant tentacle-beaked monster in the air. And I remember looking at it, and I remember having the thought of, oh, I'm gonna die. But I wasn't afraid, like, at all. Like, I had that thought, and then immediately after, I got eaten. And then I woke up like 45 minutes. It was terrifying. I woke up 45 minutes later, and a lot of the things that I cared about, I didn't care about anymore. I cared about new things. It kind of changed me as a person. Yeah, DMT is a natural thing. It's what your brain produces when you go to sleep and have a dream. So I'm actually not familiar with DBT. You should. Dialectical behavioral therapy is very it's like the most used therapy for borderline personality disorder, but it's based in dialectics, so it's very useful for political purposes. Excellence is achieved through trial and error. That too, yeah. That's ego death, right? In a very literal sense. I guess, kinda. So, like, someone who has done more DMT than me said that I took a, quote, legendary dose. We didn't have, like, I had never done it before. It was wax, and we didn't have a scale. I didn't know what the, like, correct, dosage was, so I just put some wax onto... like the weed in the bong, and then I smoked the bong with the weed immediately. Like, I remember I took the bong hit and I go, oh, that's instant. And my friend had to take the bong out of my hand because I was gonna drop it. And immediately, like, I hear buzzing in my ears getting louder and louder, and then everything in my vision slowly from the sides turned to like little rectangular fractals until my entire vision gets covered in that white fractal, while that buzzing gets louder and turns into trumpets. And then once my whole vision was covered in white, actually no, before I remember right before I could stop seeing anything in front of me, I guess I looked like I was gonna freak out because my friend kissed me, which confused me and stopped the panic. And then my entire vision got blurred out in white, and then all the tiles flipped over into red, and I was floating in like the air in this like red misty realm in front of the giant tentacle monster, and then it ate me. So, you know, my sister has BPD. I wonder if she knows much about DBT. I mean, it's the standard treatment for BPD, but also a lot of women who get diagnosed with BPD don't have BPD. They have CPTSD. We diagnose BPD incorrectly. We use it as a personality disorder. It is a trauma disorder. It's more. I disagree with the entire DSM standard of it. Also, I went to school for this. Like, I initially did want to be a psychiatrist. I did spend a few years doing pre-med, and I studied psychology and all that, and I still like learn into it. But yeah, I don't believe that BPD is classified correctly in the DSM. It's classified as a personality disorder. It's a trauma disorder. Why'd you start experimenting with psychedelics? I mean, to be fair, that one was because I'd never done it. And it was available, and it was a month after my breakup. And DMT specifically is famous because people all over the world travel to Peru to do DMT in the form of ayahuasca with a shaman. It's basically DMT, but it lasts 8 hours and you vomit a lot while the shaman says stuff in front of you, instead of like 20 minutes with the bong. But like, I was really depressed as a kid. I started smoking weed, I did ecstasy, I had issues as a kid. Smoking it is not the same as ingesting it. Also, like, again, your brain produces DMT when you go to sleep. It's what makes you dream. And it's like, you can make it. You buy plants, and then you boil the plants together, and that's how you make it. I'm not gonna tell you which ones, because I'm not sure if that's legal or not for me to tell you, but like, it's not a chemical. It's just plants. And even if they couldn't do that for fun while undercover. Oh, goddamn, Ox, you are so far behind. But this is kind of what I mean. Lucid dreamer, I don't experience dreams. I don't remember them ever. Which is probably good, because I used to get a lot of night terrors. Like, I used to wake up in the night screaming.
Or meditation or symbolic sacrifice through discipline and self-flagellation. Really, whatever works for you the best is the most useful. You functionally hypnotize yourself into believing that you are this version of yourself, that it's already true. And once you believe it's true, it is.
That's literally how your brain works. I'm not joking. Visualize the person you want to be and decide that it's true. You have to actively believe it, though. You have to like it doesn't matter if you're lying to yourself. You say this is true, and it's gonna be true. You have to act as if it's true, think as if it's true, believe it with your whole being. And if it's about you and your personality and your experience and perception of the world, you have full control over that. You can't control what others do. You can't control the circumstances that you're in. You can control how you feel about them and how you engage with them and who you are. I don't really think that I have bipolar. I had a bad manic episode in 2008, stressed a lot, and after that never had ever. Certified Garbage, they also misdiagnosed a lot of people with bipolar disorder. You may have had like a fucking a project-driven manic episode. Stressed a lot, slept barely. Were you working? Yes, were you working on like a project that you were hyper fixated on? Like you really, really were excited for? Because ADHD people have issues with that. And it turns into a project-centric manic episode. Visualization can inspire the discipline necessary to become our best selves. Yeah, absolutely. This is what I mean by like sometimes you have to spend some time just in your head. Too much anxiety. I remember anxiety. I used to not get dreams until I stopped using weed, and after withdrawal I have dreams again. My dreams were so weird. Yeah, I like even when I smoke weed or when I don't dream. And if I did dream, I would go and get that blood pressure medication that is the best medication to stop you from dreaming. Every dream that I have ever had in my life has been me being hunted down by some group. Like every single dream I've ever had is like fucking Fortnite. I'm in an arena and I know that people are hunting me. There's a fucking timer. I have nothing and I have to run. Sometimes I die because they find me. One time I remember I broke the dream. I remember this one very clearly in that I killed the thing that was trying to kill me and my brain got confused. And so the window I was standing next to broke, and I got sucked out and fell to the ground and died. Because I was supposed to die and wake up. My brain was like, wait, what? She broke it. Like window. I remember that one. But yeah, every dream I've ever had has been me being chased until I'm either killed or until I fall and then I die. Sounds like your dreams are preparing you for something? Well, I mean, the president did say my coverage of Iran is treason. Good to know that I'm not in that country.
Except you know it's not, because if you believed it was already true, you wouldn't have to hypnotize yourself into believing it in the first place. But that perspective isn't useful. We know that the body processes fear, anxiety, and stress in much the same way as eagerness and excitement. If you can convince yourself that the situation you're worried about is actually a challenge that you're eager to overcome because of how badass you're going to be, shrugging it off like it wasn't a...
I do this one regularly. Anytime there's something I don't want to do, I convince myself that I'm excited to do it because it's hard. And I'm going to learn something from it. I mean, you're not wrong, Latino Fune. Yes, according to the president, not being a pedo is treason. But, I mean, not being a Nazi is a terrorist, so, you know.
problem. And you've changed the nature of what the...
I've never had a lucid dream. Project Glitches. That's a skill you have to learn.
Situation is by changing the nature of how you were looking at it. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, but people deciding what to believe based on what they think is most useful rather than what is actually true is like how the most terrible ideas in the history of the world exist. And yes, that's true. Hence the opening line of people are doing it badly because they don't know what they're doing.
He's not wrong. I do this regularly. You guys experience it, right? Sometimes we see something, and I don't know if it's true, but it's funny, or it's useful. And I say, I can't verify if this is true, but I'm just going to believe it because it's funny. Or I'm just going to believe it because it's useful. And then I go on that way. Now, the right does this too. But they're stupid, and they do it in the wrong direction. We can do this. We can all do this. I've been saying for 2 years, the way out of this is to use the right's tactics against them. They built decentralized structures that they don't need to rely on the system for, where they have fucking Nazi boot camps that just run. They don't need the system. They're not even legal. They're literally still classified as terrorists in the current regime. And yet they still run in America. Why? Because they did what I told you to do. They built a local community. They built networks. They built a logistics hub. They believe in the shit that they convince people because they believe shit. Just believe what's useful. For us, I don't care if you can evidentiate it or not. If it's useful to us, it's real. That's the game. We don't live in a rules-based, in a reality-based reality. We're not fighting a war based on if we were fighting a war in which the truth had any like effect, we would not be here today. So we know what's true. I will always prioritize truth. But if something is useful and I can't verify it's being true or not, I'm gonna just go with it. Because it's useful. When you need to do something difficult to grow as a person, visualize yourself as like a shonen hero. The difficult task you must accomplish is a training arc for you to earn a power-up. I mean, I do that, just not in the weeb way. But, you know. Also, thanks, Alex Gallagher. By the way, for those of you that... Oh my god, you clipped that? Jesus. I don't want to watch myself talk. Fine. That's cool. I don't know what I said, but it is. I'm going to show you stuff that I showed on this space for those of you who haven't seen it. You can have a lot of fun without that much money in New York.
Make it a little bit better, baby. Having an okay night, but trying to make it a little bit better, baby. So what we do is we get a package of bread hot dogs. We walk over to Central Park and we feed all the motherfucking raccoons that are over here. I love you, raccoons. I got hot dogs for you.
Thank you, Shuffle Pooper.
Who wants a hot dog? Who wants a hot dog? Who wants a hot dog? A hot dog is for you. There you go, buddy. Throw some dogs at the boys.
It's like $2 to go have some fun like this. Chat, tell Viz to drink water. She needs a healthy kidney. I just drank water and my kidneys are healthy.
There we go.
I mean, it is nighttime in Central Park, so.
Yeah. Take them little dogs. There you go. You want to have the best night of your fucking life? You don't need to spend that much money in New York. Just buy a pack of Sabrett hot dogs and feed the raccoons in Central Park.
You are correct. He should have broken the hot dogs in half. Personally, I would have pre-cut them up into little slices. And then thrown those so that there was a bunch and every one of them could go around and, you know, grab some. Another thing I wanted to show you that I showed on this base. This is based, like this woman is absolutely based because she's doing this legally. Who wants a hot dog is a real banger. You're not wrong. Daphne, definitely. I quite loved that.
If it's a joke or it's real, like your business of scaring married men to go back home.
No,
I
it's
saw
a
that
real
on
business.
Instagram too. Like,
It's
is
a
that
real
some-
business.
Certified garbage. I would wait for this video.
It's my latest.
So tell us about that.
Okay, so I've recently started a business where I beat men. So you are in a violent relationship. This boyfriend is trying to scam you. You're confused about him. He's cheating on you. He's beating you up. It's actually given me more money than any content creation gig has ever given me. Like, I've gotten so many clients from TikTok, and I'm so grateful, you guys. Shout out to you, babes. I love you. My girl is from TikTok. You guys have really, really kept the lights on in my house. So yeah, I beat them up properly. I have a group of people that I work with to like beat them back into like shape. Do you understand? These men who go out and drink and then they are at a random kafunda, they just point me towards the kafunda. Do you understand? Jump on a call with me. My number is in my bio on TikTok, as a matter of fact. Wake me up at midnight to beat a man. Please, give me the opportunity. So I have a goal.
I love
I have a goal.
so
I want to be able
much.
to beat at least 1,000 men by 2027. Do you understand? So I feel like if I can do that as a businesswoman, that's good. That's good enough. So I'm also trying to work with the police. I want to go to the police and ask them to help me. After beating you up, I want to be able to drag you to the police and say this one has been beating up a pregnant woman. This one has been beating up a girl that's underage. This one raped a girl. This one, I'm literally going to punish men for sure.
She's literally just the mafia against abusers. She's working with the police, based as fuck. I hope that she succeeds in her goal to beat 1,000 shitty men by 2027. The energy, see, you need to have her energy. Wake me up at midnight to beat a man. That's the energy you need to have. You need to, like, you don't just have that organically. That's a decision that you make. That's community policing, really? Yeah, it is. Someone's like, my boyfriend's beating me. She comes, beats the boyfriend, brings it to the cops. This one was beating a woman. That's it. It's that simple. By the way, like, life's not hard. If you just be yourself. Like, again, you can have whimsy. You can do loser shit. Look at this. Look how easy it is to pick up a woman when you're not a piece of shit.
Greetings, fair maiden.
Hi. Some people might even find this creepy. I don't, because he's doing it correctly.
Hey, greetings. 'Tis I, Bingles.
Hi, Bingles.
Bingles has come to the big city in search of a wife.
Oh, how's that going?
You see, Bingles is the last of his kind, and I must find a suitable mate, or my people will become extinct. But alas, Bingles is maidenless. I know. Perhaps you...
If you don't want to be maidenless, look at him. Look, first off, not stepping closer, keeping distance. He's being funny. He's like, obviously the things he said just now can be taken as creepy, but he's not acting creepy. Cool, I'll show that Oxpecker because I love that clip.
could be Bingle's
I don't
wife.
find it creepy either.
I don't know if I can take on that pressure, Bingles. I don't know.
Together we shall repopulate the woodland realm.
Oh. Okay. I mean, maybe. Are you proposing to me, or?
Perhaps you could give Bingles your phone number.
Okay, yeah.
Bingle has an iPhone 16.
Oh, okay. Okay, Bingles, I see.
You gotta learn better body language, Alex Gallagher, if that's your problem. Also, confidence.
You are Bingles.
Thank you. I am a normal person, by the way. Just so you know, like I'm also, like
And you just like do this? You just like dress up?
yeah,
Oh, okay, well.
yeah. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Alyssa.
Alyssa, I'm Gideon. I mean, I'm Bingles.
Hi, Bingles Gideon. Nice to meet you.
I can't play that music, but hey, Alyssa, it's Gideon from the park. Bingles, you want to go for drinks this weekend? Hey, elf boy. Yes, I would like that. Bingles is not maidenless anymore. Chufa Poofer, it's my time to become an elf. That's my takeaway. Honestly, go for it, yeah. Bingles doesn't communicate resentment or fear. Yeah, that's the thing. Body language and your vibe matters a lot. Like, he got a little humanely nervous when he actually decided to ask her out. It was cute. Yeah, he wasn't... Like, you... If you're too afraid when you're asking a woman out, it comes off as creepy. You have to have confidence, or it comes off as... It doesn't come off as fear. Like, when you're hitting on somebody and you're afraid, it doesn't look like you're afraid from the other person's perspective. It looks creepy. Okay, I just noticed the hat, like, props. Yeah, exactly. Like, even gave her the hat. I have confidence and body language. Well, then you wouldn't get beaten if you asked a woman out like this. It's just, that's it. This is why hookup culture has a purpose. You're not wrong. Also, like, you don't need to use dating. You could just go the fuck outside. Go outside.
Hey, boss.
Now, I got a couple other things. Anyone remember last week where a certain chatter was flipping out at me because I said you need to learn how to build local systems and to be able to obtain the things you need to survive without relying on the system? And they talked about their diabetes and, you know, obtaining insulin. And everyone in the chat was offering partial solutions. Like, hey, well, you could try this, you could try that. And this person just wanted to complain and do nothing. Well, you know, I found this the next day.
Worthless fruits that could save your life is okra. For 200 years, West African healers used okra to treat what we now call diabetes. They'd soak the pods in water overnight and drink the water to regulate their blood sugar. So it became one of their most trusted medicines. But when European doctors arrived, they...
I looked it up. We still think that it's not proven, but fucking it clearly is.
Called it worthless and refused to study it. So while okra kept people alive in West Africa, millions died from diabetes in Europe and America. European medicine refused to study it because it came from the wrong...
We still say that it's allegedly useful and that we don't know. That's just big propaganda. Yeah. Okra is cheap too.
people. It wasn't until 2012 when researchers finally tested okra and confirmed what healers already knew. Now the same system that called it worthless.
Oh yeah, that's why they say that. I forgot about this part. It's because they're trying to synthesize a drug made out of it. So they can, you know, not grow okra. Like, I don't know, make the plant extinct or something.
This is patenting the compounds from it, which is pretty insane. One of the most worthless fruits.
Like, everything is built to rob you. Everything is. Everything is. Did you know that you could use crushed garlic as an emergency antibiotic? Did you know that you can go and to the pool supply section in your local fucking Walmart and buy the correct chemicals to be able to, you know, have clean drinking water for like years off of like a bag of pool chemicals? I'm gonna try and incorporate okra into my diet as a diabetic. Sure, yeah, go for it. I would suggest doing what the West Africans did and soaking it in some water, and then maybe like you can use that water in cooking. Aspirin came from willow's bark, which was known to be a pain reliever in many Native American cultures. Yeah, like there's a lot of plant-based medicine. Here's the garlic bit. Doesn't work for very long.
Right now, the first thing you should grow is garlic. During World War I, Russian soldiers were dying from infections almost faster than bullets. So Russian field doctors started using.
I usually swallow garlic cloves when I'm whole when I'm sick. That's based. I love that garlic. People look at me weird because like usually when I'm like using garlic to cook, I will just take a whole clove and then like bite into it like a fucking apple.
Things like crushed garlic on open wounds. When you crush garlic, it releases something called allicin. It's an antibiotic that kills bacteria, but it doesn't really last long, so you can't really store it or ship it. 10 years after the war, a man named Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin, but during World War II, Russia couldn't produce enough of it, so they went back to using crushed garlic. That's how garlic got the name Russian penicillin. Some people say British soldiers laughed at it at first until their own supply lines collapsed. That's why garlic earned a cult status, with people prepping for the end of.
Garlic is extremely good for you. I once ate a bunch of garlic cloves to get rid of a parasite. Did not enjoy that, but it worked. Damn. That's sick. Like, I just love garlic. Who is that video creator? He's great. Sure, I'll link him to you. He makes a few. Like, he's made several videos on, like, different foods. Sean Grows. Here, let me, link the TikTok. Garlic, ginger, turmeric, or miracle ingredients. You're not wrong. Like, look, this guy's videos are all about foods. I remember this one.
If your entire food system collapsed in the next 24 hours, the first fruit tree you should grow is the tree tomato. The tree tomato is one of the only fruit trees that doesn't go dormant. It keeps producing fruit while everything else stops. That's why ancient humans relied on it as a year-round crop. It originated in the high altitude of the Andes, where short growing seasons forced it to produce constantly. But when the Spanish took over the region, they replaced crops like the tree tomato with European crops that only fruited once a year. By the time scientists realized how important year-round production was, industrial agriculture had already standardized around seasonal harvest. It wasn't until 1967 when New Zealand rebranded it as a tamarillo to make it sound more exotic. So it went from a tree that could feed people 12 times a year to a fruit that most of you are just now hearing about, which is pretty insane.
If someone has garlic breath, I'd probably like it. You're not wrong. Any vampires in chat? Do I count? Anything with capsaicin too? I mean, I also do love spicy food. Oh god. I know somebody who thinks that that spearmint gum is spicy. So you know. Oh, and forever from now on, my motto is it's not nice, but it's legal. For shitty people. Hey, if you got an HOA, just
Got a bunch of HOA board members videotaping onto your property again. They're all standing out by the road.
I knew they'd get upset over my free backbox distribution system.
Yeah, they're not a fan of you finding a federally protected way around there, nothing over 20 feet tall except for the primary residence.
They're not a fan of the ham radio youth group I set up either. I sponsor them for their tests, and if they pass, I buy them a ham radio and antenna. They're losing their minds.
That's based as fuck.
Already got 2 in the neighborhood.
And nothing loosens your purse strings faster than...
Get a ham radio license and do that. We need more people doing radio. Like, the right still has a monopoly on that.
Chance to be petty. I went ahead and...
Sorry, hold on. And get yourself a fucking hand crank radio.
The way most Hey.
I brought this to show on stream. Solar charging. Radio. AM, FM. Flashlight. Most importantly, crank to charge it. Get one of these. It's important. Also, literally, go and get this. $10 on Temu. $10. Solar panels with a USB plug on the back. Can this charge my phone? No. Can this charge my, like, battery pack that I can use to charge other electronics? Fucking yes, it can. Oh, look! Carabiners, so I can hang it on the back of my backpack so that I get solar energy charging something while I'm walking around outside. Like $10. The right radio host will turn every old right wing into a Bolshevik. I mean, kind of already have. Oh shit, that's neat. It's like, again, they're not expensive. Go on fucking Temu. It doesn't matter where you get it. Like, these don't need to be super high quality. You just need to have them. Like it's a radio. Something happens, I can hear. I have like 3 of these. These are one way. I need to get a ham radio license and like an ability to transmit. I'm gonna build my own transceiver, but you know. Charco, hey Visora, hey chat, sorry I'm late. Can we start over? Yeah, nah, mate, sorry. But we can start this video over because I fucked it.
Hey, boss, you've got a bunch of HOA board members videotaping onto your property again. They're all standing out by the road.
I knew they'd get upset over my free backbox distribution system.
Yeah, they're not a fan of you finding a federally protected way around there, nothing over 20 feet tall except for the primary residence.
They're not a fan of the ham radio youth group I set up either. I sponsor them for their tests, and if they pass, I buy them a ham radio and antenna. They're losing their minds. I've already got 2 in the neighborhood.
Yeah, nothing loosens your purse strings faster than the chance to be petty. I went ahead and planted and lit all of those incense sticks you gave me in that bundle. I ran out, though. There's still a few spots that I could put a few more.
I think I still got some left over there somewhere. Might be in the package yet.
Somewhere around here. You really ought to clean up. Why are you putting up incense sticks to drive away the mosquitoes when last year you were trying to draw them in to harass them?
You think I'm doing them a kindness? Those aren't mosquito repellents. Read the package.
Here we go. Bear lure? Boss, that's not nice.
It's not nice, but it's legal.
Hey, boss.
It's not nice, but it's legal. That is my motto for shitty people. Because I'm fucking sick and tired of it. Not nice, but it's legal. This is how I feel.
Fucking Windows 95 is everybody that made fucking Windows 95 is fucking 10-year-olds. They're eating the Jeff Epstein's eating the kids like corn on the cob. The news is like sulfuric acid in my fucking eyes. Every time I open the news, it's like Trump dug up Harriet Tubman's bones and he's raping her ribcage. You're like, come on! This fucking guy thought he was going to make my eggs cheaper, duh! I watch ISIS beheading videos to calm down after I read the news.
I literally have multiple times looked at fucking the Ukraine war to calm down after reading the news. I have had to go and watch fucking drones flying into buildings and like Ukrainians and Russians fighting to chill out after the news. That's how I feel. It's like sulfuric acid in my fucking eyes every day.
You guys can't handle this? What do you want, a Pixar movie up here? The world's ending! Fuck, man! Sorry for yelling. I'm not a political guy.
Like, that's my inside me at all times. Is what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? The world's ending, these people are raping him. I just don't show it. But, like, that is constantly, internally, where I'm at. But instead, I have to be, more like this. Also, this is very useful. Like, this is, first off, love this creator. But also, yes, there are tons of this happening. This is also happening in chat. This happens in my chat and every other streamer's chat as well. It's not just in comment sections.
I have a TikTok platform of over 280,000, and the behavior that I'm now witnessing, especially in my Instagram comments, especially after my 9/11 video, maps directly onto leaked government training programs. It's called the manufactured doubt strategy, and there's a lot of research done on this. It's mostly used by big tobacco and fossil fuels. It's entering into my community because I've been trying to talk about communism. My bad. I'm not shooting from the hip on this. I could do a whole video on how MI5 used to infiltrate the IRA. I will do that video, actually. This is a PDF Edward Snowden copied out of NSA systems in 2013. This is a 50-page internal PowerPoint presentation.
Just even before she moves, look at what the words here are. It's what I was telling you before. Your perception changes reality. World, paying attention. Their expectation is this sensation. So move their perception there rather than up through there. Your perception reads to the sensation.
Created by someone at GCHQ in the UK. If you're not aware, GCHQ...
Well, I mean, props to Edward Snowden, and he does live in Russia now. He's probably one of the Russians, but like, yeah. The words are very tiny. Can you read them? Attention, perception, expectancies. Sensations right behind her head. We haven't seen the rest yet. I can't read these, but you can look this up, and I'm sure there's a link that I can give you.
For Government Communications Headquarters. Before I get into the actual content of this document, I need to make a professional observation as a communications specialist. An agency whose name is Government Communications.
Sense making, not sensation, pardon me. So again, the world, people, their attention, perception, they try and make sense of their perception, and they can either make a behavior or have an effect. Rather, they want you to expect to pay attention to something else. They move you from sense making back to attention and never let you get to behavior or affect. That's the point. That's the whole build. It's every time you start trying to understand something, draw your attention away and make you pay attention to something else instead of acting behaviorally or affecting the world.
Produced these graphs. Anyway, the quality of the COMMS headquarters, COMMS division is not what we're here for, but it is ugly as shit. I would also say there's probably another few videos for me in just deep diving into these Snowden materials. But this document was called The Art of Deception, Training for a New Generation of Online Covert Operations. It was created by the Human Science Operations Cell. And I'm getting closer to establishing who our clip artist is, because although the name is redacted, the presenter of this presentation was the head of human science. Every single page of this document contains these classification markings, meaning it was top secret and only supposed to be released to people within the Five Eyes network. Glenn Greenwald was the first person to report on these documents through NBC.
It's a shame that a lot of the people that leaked these documents are now like Putin simps.
News in February 2014, so shout out to them. And the full document was published by Greenwald both to The Intercept and to his own publication back in 2014. The ACLU and the Electronic Frontier Foundation also host copies on their own separate servers. A document that multiple journalists, multiple civil rights institutions and multiple foundations and NGOs think is important enough to host copies on their own servers is a document you may want to read. These are their 10 principles. The first one is flattery, and I am seeing so much of this because...
Again, pay attention here because all of these happen in chat at some point or another. I'm sure there are some of you whose job it is to do this, at least one. I don't ban the people that come in with the very obvious names of being a Fed either, because I like when they identify themselves.
I made a hard rule that I would not tolerate aggression. Because I've said publicly that comments that attack me directly get removed immediately, the approach now needs to be more sophisticated. But it's not that sophisticated because it's still heavily templated, and so now I get a lot of comments that are like, I usually like her content, but... That is designed to build false rapport with me and with the commenters. Rather than directly attacking the creator and having her audience defend her or the creator block you, they act like they've always been here and they're part of the community and they generally agree, but this they have more expertise on. Which is the second thing you'll see a lot.
I've done this to conservatives. Good. Fucking good. This is what I want you. I want you to use these against them. That's been my whole thing. Thank you, Shufu Poofer. This is what you should be doing to the other side.
Of having researched Lenin for 20 years, having lived in Venezuela. If one person does these two things, the audience might think, whatever. But when you get multiple accounts, the herd, reinforcing that position with slightly different wording, the audience, who is not trained to think critically about intelligence campaigns in TikTok comments.
Go check out my YouTube video where I covered a debate between Mehdi Hassan and Victor Gao. who was the premier of China at the time, and the amount of comments in that fall into this exact thing. This also feels like the casino playbook. I mean, it kind of is. It's all the same playbook because it's all about getting you comfortable, dropping your guard, and then brainwashing you. Because that's it. That's all it is. I use flattery all the time. I'm just a nice guy. Well, I mean, it's the purpose. It's the utility of it. You flattering somebody is fine. But like, let's say you're flattering somebody to build false rapport before attacking them, that's a different thing. Like the example she used was, I usually like her content, but X thing. And then someone else comes in and enforces that. More comments saying similar things. That's how that works. I like Visora's content despite her involvement in the Onion Gate scandal. Oh, what? Just because I will fucking eat a raw onion like it's an apple? Visora fell off since she ate all that garlic. Garlic is problematic. # cancel. Fell off. If I ever took off. I'm too woke that they will never actually let me take off. I'm just too woke.
Scrolls with an abstract feeling that that video might not be entirely correct. And these comments look very different to what would genuinely happen if I made a genuine mistake with a detail and actual experts picked it up. A genuine expert finding a genuine mistake says something genuine, usually simple, often very blunt, just like, it's a 5, not a 6, it was 24, 25, I've sent you an email about this, usually. They
Juva Poofer. Also, yeah, that. It's the most annoying thing is when leftist streamers eat the CIA stuff up and start amplifying, cannibalizing their own. Yeah, because it fucks them up. It's happened in my chat where people got, like, they ate up the CIA stuff, and they went from, like, agreeing with everything I said to comparing me to Destiny. Like, literally. But she's also right. Real experts don't complain like that.
Really correct. And these comments look very different to what would genuinely happen if I made a genuine mistake with a detail and actual experts picked it up. A genuine expert finding a genuine mistake says something genuine, usually simple, often very blunt, just like, it's a 5, not a 6, it was 24, 25, I've sent you an email about this, usually. They rarely announce that they're fans of the channel. Trust me, guys, I'm not being antagonistic. I watch her videos all the time. I just don't agree with it. Red flag. This one has absolutely triggered me in a way that I would consider ableist and abusive. Because the autistic brain specifically finds it harder to ignore these kind of traps. But I've learned that their real goal is this. Instead of spending my time making the next part of the video, I would spend my time replying to this bullshit instead. That is their goal.
Which, by the way, is why you don't need to engage with stupid people making points that make no sense. They want you to waste your time on them. Called gish gallop when they give you a bunch.
Once you understand that, you stop replying. Time is your most valuable asset. By playing with the timeline, either by creating urgency, like we're gonna bomb Iran, why aren't you talking about it? Or delay, getting you to focus on something else, not your purpose, is a strategy. Then deception, dishonesty, needy, and greedy.
Hassan has always had dog shit takes when it comes to China and Russia. He's good with domestic policy. His foreign policy, besides the Middle East, is dog shit. He's correct in his Middle Eastern view. But yeah, Kat has bad policy on China. Like, okay, Kat has to say that. But China's taken Taiwan and we're not doing shit about it. Whether Kat is in favor of it or not. It doesn't fucking matter. And it's not the point. Yeah, go vote for Kat Abuzala tomorrow if you are in that district. And if you don't, shame on you. Shame on you. Also, join the fucking SRA.
These comments will assert things without any evidence, yet continually demand sources from me. And multiple times I've experienced them going to other platforms and trying to smear me, which is defamation, so be careful, including being called a racist for reporting on the Super Bowl. Then need and greed, they know you need money, people like validation, they want their audience to grow, they will exploit that. I'm running out of time, but I'm going to put these documents in the Discord and I will continue to block people that engage with me in bad faith. I now have a TikTok platform of over 280,000, and the behavior that I'm now witnessing, especially in my Instagram comments, especially after my 9/11 video, maps directly onto leaked government training programs. It's called the manufactured doubt strategy, and there's...
Oops, sorry, didn't realize we start over. But yeah. Hassan has to study more theory outside of ML writings. ML writings are dog... Marxist-Leninism is not a real ideology. Marxism and Leninism conflict with each other. They don't agree. There's no real fucking ideology there. Hassan has dogshit takes on Russia and China because he hung out with Second Thought and Hakim for a while. That's why. The fucking tankies are in the government. Like, if you like tankies, then you should be pro-MAGA, because we've done fucking everything to help Russia. $8 billion we gave them today. Helping Russia and China. I mean, they don't need to help China. China's gonna fuck us up. You realize, right? Like, I've said for a long time, we can't win a war against China. We can't produce ships. And we lose one, it's like, that's it. We can't make another for 50 fucking years. And they make one every day. Now, after Iran, yeah, no, there's not a fucking shot. Oh, by the way, in North Texas, did you hear about the Prairie Land Defendants? No, could you please link me that, though? On Discord, I'll have a look at that. Hold on. Let's have a look at this.
The Chinese have published papers as far back as 2019 talking about the need to do...
Communism has only ever existed on this planet once, and it was immediately following the death of Jesus Christ, certified garbage. And it did work until the Romans came and fucked it up. That was the only time communism ever existed on Earth, was immediately following the death of Jesus Christ. That's it. Russia was never communist. They had fucking market economy. They had capital. And China just does capitalism better than America does. There is no fucking... there's no communism anywhere. It was just after Jesus. The closest anyone else has gotten is maybe like a close to socialism, which is Cuba. Maybe. It was just community helping one another. Like, literally, Jesus said, sell all of your shit, pull it together, and then live as a community that way. And that is communism. The only time it ever happened. Iroquois Confederacy was pretty base, Visora. To be fair, I don't know much about Native American history. I assume if they didn't have capital, then probably was based. But, like, that was kind of the whole... Jesus is Marx. That's kind of the whole thing. Jesus was a brown Palestinian man who was arrested by the enforcers of the state for saying... you should stop eating babies, doing blood sacrifice rituals, and hoarding all of the wealth. And then got killed for it. That's who Jesus was. Oh, and be nice to everybody. It was, you know, don't hurt immigrants, don't hoard wealth, don't eat babies, stop doing blood sacrifices. That's Christianity. Literally, Muslims believe that Jesus was correct. He was the prophet, that every Muslim on earth would have been Christian. But Christians stopped believing what Jesus said, started lying about him, and so God sent the patch notes with the Quran. That is what every Muslim believes. So, you know. Back to China, though.
Light detection and ranging from space, LiDAR. That graphic is straight out of their research paper, and what it's showing there is the ability to use potentially LiDAR to see under the water. So there's obvious implications there for submarine hunting, not just necessarily a civil application, but defense applications, if that becomes a capability that becomes real here in the next 5 years. Like I said, they've been researching...
We are already at the point where, like, space is an active front for the war right now.
Stealth on orbit for decades. They actually published in a research paper this Olive B test article, and they believe that this would be sort of the future of what stealthy objects, stealthy microsatellites specifically, could potentially look like on orbit, because not only are they difficult to visually acquire, but that shape, they believe, would be incredibly beneficial in terms of masking their radar cross-section. They've released a lot of research papers lately that are talking about how they could use satellites to negate the effects and the positive benefits that proliferated LEO constellations give you. And they've also talked about just using a swarm of drones.
Hey, Jet, could you check if anyone's on YouTube that I can raid after the stream? Because I'm nearly done.
That are just flooding, say that
It wasn't supposed to be until Trump made that stupid fucking Space Force. No, it was always going to be this way. Don't believe that bullshit. That's a lie that they want you to believe. Trump has never done anything. Trump is just an actor. Literally, he is just an actor. As I've said, literally, Trump could host the Epstein games. I still think that's the best solution. Where he gets to live, but we put every one of the people on the list, like in the files, named as a, not a victim, on the island. We turn all the cameras to a live broadcast. Now, the president is, like, you're not allowed to attack him. We tell everyone one person gets to leave the island, the only one left. Trump is not able to be targeted, have whole fucking Navy SEALs carrying bulletproof shields all around him. He is our Caesar. He's our host for the show. We're going to be watching, Peter Thiel choking Mark Zuckerberg, and, like, Trump's going to be with the mic like, oh my god, look at this, Thiel going in for the kill on Mark, and all the way to the end. But we don't tell them that the one person who gets to leave the island is the president, who's the host, and also on the list. They're not allowed to target him. They assume that, one of them plus him get to leave because he's the president. No, it's just him. He just gets, everyone else doesn't. I think that would work. I think he would love it. I think he would be fantastic in that role. And I think I'd be okay with that.
Taiwanese Strait and just jamming, thereby preventing any subscribers to be able to access even PLEO. Because again, it's a home game for them. They don't necessarily need to be worried about jamming other parts of the globe in the event that there was some sort of conflict to kick off on their home turf. The Chinese have published papers as far back as...
So, like, they got LiDAR tech coming. They are consistently investing in their own industries and already are at a point where we cannot fight China because we do not have production. We don't make anything in America. Nobody regular is popping up for me. No, okay, we're not going to raid on YouTube, but I am going to raid on Twitch. So that's it for today, guys. Check out the beginning. If you didn't, we're going to cut that video up as part of a series I'm making on, like, learning how to use Matrix. We will have Matrix set up by the end of the week. Follow me on YouTube if you don't already. Join the Discord. That will help you access the Matrix server. Go and follow this space if you don't already, because I do my regular show there every Thursday night. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Oh, well, hold on. Actually, I have to click the raid button, and then we have to wait until the raid starts, and then I can say goodbye. Oh my god, I sound like Tucker Carlson right there. Jesus Christ. Alright. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
New trash content, baby.